is our plan to actually change the nature of how we conduct politics, opening the realm of politics to communication, which is something that really is at the very base and foundation of politics. Shared ideas, ways in which we can actually become a better nation, are only expressed through an open and shared process of exchange of ideas. And oftentimes we're put into two separate parties in the minds of everybody around us. We're all being played back and forth between the left and the right, Democrats versus Republicans. But you see, that's an illusion. The reality is we are being played by an outside influence, forcing our nation to be just a nation of two parties. So we created America's Third Party. America's Third Party is dedicated to finding a centrist pathway in the middle of the political spectrum. Long live liberty. And at America's Third Party, you're all invited. We can all be members of this great party. We don't have to be on the sideline, disconnected from politics. We don't have to be left in the blogosphere with our little blogs writing away. We can actually start participating in the shaping of our future. And the future of our nation depends on it, in fact. We've got some very interesting technology ideas we're going to talk about tonight. Obviously, technology is the key discussion to helping our country build jobs. But we haven't seen a lot of American products made in the past 15 years under Bush and Obama. So now we're looking at new alternatives and how to fund those, and I think the government can create jobs. I really do. I believe that this is a possibility. Very possible that we can actually trigger growth by creating new products. So I'll be talking about that at length tonight. Here's something from Gizmag. A new dual carbon battery charges 20 times faster than lithium ion. It's exciting. This circuit technology, as well as providing battery storage with much greater strength and longevity. And now General Motors is coming up with a new car called the Bolt, which they hope to release, which will get a range of 200 miles. A range of 200 miles. And get rid of that range anxiety people are having with electric cars. And they're claiming that they're going to have a sticker price of $30,000. So maybe GM is coming back for a revival. We don't know. We're hoping. Yes, if you fast charge batteries, it tends to shorten their life. Batteries are not a perfected science. And there's many people that are trying to promote the idea of battery technology being mass produced and for us to go to a gas station and have a battery swapped in our car. There's a guy named Shai Agassi, kind of like Andre Agassi, but his name is Shai Agassi. He's out there promoting this idea that our country should somehow buy their infrastructure of battery charging stations. And the Democrats are really sucking up to that guy a lot. They have him touring the country quite a bit. And I think that it's really dangerous to put our faith in a foreign European-based company, or perhaps in this case, an Israeli-Iranian, who wants to somehow revolutionize the world but profit from it at the same time. I say to people like that who try to take over our country's infrastructure, get the hell out of our nation. We've got a beautiful infrastructure right now of 110 volt outlets. And we've got the ability to create portable devices for every gas station, to have charging stations that can monetize it. But don't try to rebuild our infrastructure. And you Democrats ought to be ashamed of yourself for kissing his ass. Okay? Bottom line is, we don't need foreign intervention. Look at our cities like Chicago, where over $1 billion of the parking meter system goes to a European concern. Or their toll booths. They make another billion on that from charging Chicago people tolls. And these are European companies trying to handle our infrastructure. That, in and of itself, shows you that our nation is being controlled by some very powerful monetary interests from Europe. Why else would we be bending over and allowing them to buy up our infrastructure? Even in our community here in Washington State, our electric company is run by a foreign company out of Canada. The Democrats just bent over. Remember when China originally came over to do trade with America? They were invited to Washington State. And Washington State struck a deal with China. They would buy $100 billion worth of Chinese goods over a long period of time in exchange for China buying $1 billion of our goods. You see, that's at the very heart of the problem. We're just giving up our country, and there's got to be a reason for it. the Democrats or Republicans are either asleep at the switch or they're bought off by the European concerns. That's why this is becoming a global economy, and we're being forced to go global here at home. And that's a problem. David, what do you have plans for Valentine's Day? I don't buy it into myself. I hate people being all condescending. Also, when you say you don't have a girl, you something yet, how do they know I'm not Casanova? You're feeling a little bit, kind of worried that people think you're, a guy, a bachelor, Kenny. Use Valentine's Day to your benefit and send out a few Valentines to the ladies that you think are really attractive in your area. It's a good start. It's a great way to stimulate romance. Minister Sponheim, Brian Williams has been suspended without pay for 6 months. Yeah. I feel like I was reading last night's chat. You're right. Brian Williams is going to take a 6-month hiatus. I wonder if he's going to go to Haiti. I know, Norman Bates says the foundations of America don't exist anymore, Dave. It's all about the money. Well, this is what I'm asking you guys to focus on. Building a new foundation that it resembles the old foundation. Going back to the United States of America. Protecting our borders. Bringing our troops home. Doing what's right. Building technologies like this dual carbon battery that charges 20 times faster than lithium ions. A quick charge that holds is a really good thing. Lithium ions tend to take a quick charge and start bubbling, and they get old quick, as evinced by the Boeing 787 project, where they couldn't prevent the fires, so they just created canisters on each one of the batteries to contain a fire. But lithium-ion technology is not perfect. At one point, Boeing was losing $120 million a day when they were grounding all their 787s because of the lithium-ion issue. So if we can get better battery technology, that'll be great. There's an image gallery of other things I can look at here. Let's take a look. So here's the carbon cathode on both sides, the load. All right. It'd all get loaded. There's a guy working on it in the factory. Probably has to be, antiseptically clean. Yeah, somehow he's playing with little pieces of small lithium in there. Okay. This is exciting. Loading. Then he has some sort of a project that he's working on that, it's probably something to do with this. Okay. Thanks for the click. Let's go to the news. See what's in the top of the news here. Now that we no longer have Brian Williams. Brian Williams is taking a day off. He's going to be taking a 6-month hiatus from NBC. And Bob Simon died, the 60 Minutes correspondent who was 73 years old. He passed away. Now, Obama is to encourage info sharing on cybersecurity threats with other countries. Well, that makes sense because considering he wants our country to give all of our top secrets away, that's why WikiLeaks was orchestrated under his administration. That's right. So apparently he doesn't care about any of our cybersecurity. His entire presidency has been a litany of mistakes. The NSA has allowed Edward Snowden, a high school dropout, to get access to the top information and then suddenly doesn't even know where he is and then he's gone. Our country's got a very bad track record of cybersecurity under Obama, and it's getting worse. So what does he want to do? Share more of our cybersecurity secrets. Yeah. Okay. Boy, this guy's a real nutcase, isn't he? The Democrats are urging Oregon governor to resign. Top officials said he's got some strange behavior going on. So now the government's trying to break down our states and tell a governor of Oregon that he's strange. This is America's third party. If you happen to have nice three-dimensional teeth like I do, press-on veneers, you'll probably just say, hey, I'm going to get one too, just like Dave. I'm not here to represent that company, though. Okay, the Democrats are urging governor to resign. Top officials reveal strange behavior. Like what? And what right do they have to call this guy strange? I want to know what his strange behavior is. Have you guys seen pictures of Joe Biden with the kids? You're telling me that they're picking on this governor about his strange behavior, and you got Joe Biden doing all kinds of fun stuff with all kinds of kids. It's on camera. I can't show it here on Vaughn because they won't allow kids in the camera. But I mean, just Google Joe Biden and the kids. You'll see the whole thing. This stream is very hard to masturbate to, according to 252. That says it all right there, guest 252. Cha. Biden has a butt buddy? I didn't know that. Why are you running our great vice president down? I just said he has a thing with children. I didn't say he was a pedo or anything. I just said, I mean, if you want to act out like this is hard to masturbate to, let me show you the embattled Oregon Governor John Kitzhaber facing stiff pressure from top-ranking fellow Democrats to resign on Thursday, shortly after the state's number 2 official issued a statement describing the governor's recent behavior. Okay, let's see what he did. The latest call to resign, in the wake of influence peddling allegations. Okay. Came from the upper echelons of the Oregon's government. Influence peddling allegations. When has that been unusual in government? And the Democrats are acting like they're squeaky clean. Now they're going after one of their own to act like they're even more squeaky clean. This is classic. Remember the Charles Rangel thing that ended up with no charges at all? They like to do this. They like to grandstand. I don't know. What am I going to do for Valentine's? I haven't even decided. Biden said he has a butt buddy. That's a direct quote from Biden. He's amazing. I'm really challenged by Biden. He's such an amazing guy. Who would ever say that publicly? Remember when he said, this is a big effing deal, and he used the actual F word when they passed Obamacare over all of the people who obviously were saying, what the hell just happened? Well, they violated the Constitution. That's what happened. I don't know. Sarah's enjoying the entire month of February because this is her birthday. So we'll have the music playing like Oliver Wendell Douglas did on Green Acres. Okay, I can do that. Let's make a little speech here, and we'll try to bring in some music to kind of back that up. You know, everybody, I really am the green president. I want to be known as the green president because I really want to legalize marijuana. One of the first things I'll do, the first thing I'll do. But I also want to do something like bringing back the idea of American enterprise and ingenuity. And all the great inventions that we could create here are numerous, but we haven't seen any change in that department in a long time. So let's start with a new way of looking at how we do this. Let's start with a theme song. Okay? Green Acres is the place to be. Living is a life for me. Check out my new butt plug design for this livestock. Far and wide. Keep Manhattan, just give me that countryside. Okay, let's take a look at this butt plug concept that I have here. This was originally one of our Cool Rock ideas to deal with the massive amount of greenhouse gases emanating from animal waste. And not many people could even fathom the idea that we would possibly harness the methane coming out of all of our animals' orifices. But there is a tremendous amount of wasted fuel coming out of those anuses. And I'm not making light of this. I'm speaking seriously about dealing with a massive amount of greenhouse gas. Animal livestock produce 5 times more greenhouse gas than your car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to relax the air pollution standards on cars so we can bring in all those cool 70 mile per gallon diesel like Jetta, Passats. Golf has a 70 mile per gallon vehicle in Germany that we can't sell here. I'm going to allow those to come into the country because we don't have anything to worry about those things. And then I'm going to initiate the process of creating a scientifically designed butt plug for every bit of livestock we've got out there. Every cow will be retrofitted with this scientifically designed butt plug to guarantee that they will recycle that terrible energy. And I'm not going to tax you for it. I'm not going to have a carbon point tax like Barack Obama. I'm not going to push cap and trade technology. I'm going to innovate. innovate and solve the problems with air pollution in America. That's what we're going to do. And we'd like to talk about that tonight a little bit, if you don't mind. No, the cows will be fine. It's humane and it will not affect their orifice. They'll still be able to defecate. Nothing to worry about there. And I hope this isn't too shocking for some of you here who have never heard these words before, like defecation. But the future of American air pollution control is going to be huge. I would like to spearhead brand new ways of saving the world from extremely polluted air. And not just, come up with pie-in-the-sky ideas like maglev rails. But here's one. Here's a maglev rail video I'm going to play behind me of a plan that was supposed to go into place by now, but never did. There's some music for you. Hey, no. Gotta go, man. I wanted to get a couple people out of here, so I put the butt plug thing to kind of push the mindless idiots out of the show. So anybody who wants to get banned can leave now. I wanted to kind of mix it up because I wanted to talk to you guys about the potential for real innovation, not just butt plugs. No, I'm not. The whole thing was designed to, get you to think. But now that we got the people who can't think out of the room, we can start talking about what really, really matters. Oh my God, Oma, how are you? I can't click that link, guest. Maybe it's because they won't allow links in here and you really made it difficult for me. Okay, we got the link about Biden talking about his butt buddy. Let me put that in the link holder. Yeah, so this is possible in the future if we have a... you really made it hard on me, man. If we had a...
Superconducting maglev, SC maglev,
thank you,
is a new mass transportation system which uses superconducting technology to carry passengers at service speeds of up to 311 miles per hour. Based on years of technological development and successful launch
okay, thank you for that.
This proven system is now ready to be deployed in revenue service. The SC maglev train is levitated by extremely powerful superconducting magnets.
What they're not telling you is the SC maglev system is going to cost probably 12 or 15 billion dollars. So let's just kind of take a ride on this wonderful maglev. It's kind of cool. I'll stop it in time and space for you. No, it's not a clip from Total Recall. It's an actual projected idea that was never made into an actual vehicle. We don't have a working maglev train other than a mile track. Yeah. The trains can go up to 350 miles per hour, but we can't afford to build them. That's the problem. So America's third party came up with a different way of financing it. Money is not there for these. Even the Shanghai one is not really available. It doesn't pay itself back. Shanghai's maglev rail is right here. You can take a look at it. They put, I think, around $12 billion into that, and it hasn't paid for itself. They're still working on getting money back. So we can't just throw money at problems much like Barack Obama has with all these wasted events like Solyndra and Fisker Motors. We can't keep doing that. We have to develop a way to finance the power of energy and growth and mix those two things together. So we came up with the concept called the maglev wind farm, which has wind power turbines at every single train station. This is just a hypothetical idea, but along the track, we grab solar energy on solar panels along the track, and we use it to finance not only the growth of the track, but to finance the actual operation of the vehicle, making money as we go. So we wouldn't just lay track from here to Timbuktu or LA to New York. We would lay track from LA to Downey, and Downey to Monrovia. Monrovia to the next. I mean, we're going to have small segments, but we'll be able to build a track over time with the energy that it creates. This is a simple plan that is illustrating what we want to do with our economy and with technology. Finance things as they go. So we want to finance everything using renewable energy savings bonds. We don't want to pull from your tax dollars. And that's an important issue for a lot of people, because in no way would I create butt plugs for cows with your tax dollars, okay? Believe it or not, those things could possibly work. The renewable energy savings bonds will operate on a 4% return. That's more than you're going to get from a standard bond issue right now. You can't even buy Apple stock for this amount of money, which is interesting. Apple bond issues right now are only offering 3.5 points. You'll Apple bond offer me? Yeah. Well, 4% is going to be very attractive to people. And we're going to get an immediate return on investment directly from the money, because we're going to start creating energy rather rapidly. So we create a brand new way of creating energy that revolutionizes our nation. And we use the energy that it makes to pay itself back off. All right, we've got the standard story here. Biden gives a shout out to his old butt buddy in Iowa. Look at that. You know, this is not the first time a man, and I'm saying a man, like Joe Biden, has made comments that, you know, felt like a hoof in his mouth kind of thing. But Joe Biden is trying to scramble for his political life, and if he throws out a few weird words that people never heard, oh well, I mean, the guy's got a sense of humor.
Neil Smith, an old butt buddy, are you here, Neil? And Neil Smith, an old butt buddy, are you here, Neil? Neil, I miss you, man. I miss you.
He's being facetious, man. He's not gay. That was it. It really should be funny. Yeah, this really should be funny. I know. It could be if we just realize that this guy's a humorous man. How many people would say that?
And Neil Smith, an old butt buddy, are you here, Neil? Neil, I miss you, man. I miss you. And
that's a great soundbite. No, Biden is playing a very interesting game. He's trying to maneuver and jockey for notice. This is going to go viral. You're on notice to really describe what you're trying to do. You know, I think you are that person, I think, who's been stalking us. Okay. I want you to know that, yeah, you are. Okay. You're not? Well, I'm going to purge everything you said. If you're trying to stalk us now, it's going to end up in a 5-year prison sentence in the state of Washington. Go ahead and throw your tantrum, 939. I don't mind. All right. Then don't stalk us. That's good. All right, let's kick these bleeps out of the government. Take back our country, 162. Thank you very much. Yeah, right on, man. Let's get an honest president in the White House and then start from there. Dude. Why do you people come in here being stupid? Oma, good question. Oma's here because she has a real serious problem. She cannot find the genetic tracers to her real child that they claim died a stillborn. What, almost 17 years ago now, Oma? And she's asking experts why we don't have information related to her child. Please, be nice to Oma. And be nice to gay people, too. Yeah, I'm going to purge those statements. Simply, you're just being very mean and ruthless. All right. Okay, this is apparently not something I'm going to tolerate too long. So just snap out of it and ask a simple question that relates to politics, please. I know, Oma. You're tough. You've been there. You can take just about anything after all you've been through. I hear you. Okay. Let's get back to the technology show. Well, for one, the White House will be painted with a product called Kills. And Kills is designed to, we're tracking the chat right there. Kills is designed to cover all the odors that are living behind the background. Like the odor of the chat that I'm seeing right now. Yeah. It doesn't look good for the end of Barack Obama's presidency. It looks like he's heading us into another war, ironically. Coming from a guy who you thought you voted for didn't want war, this guy's all about doing the bidding of the global elitists. But somebody asked me, what do you want to do with the White House? I want to make it a lot more attractive. I'm thinking a little decoration would be nice. Okay, I'm going to take this up to a higher level. Black screen was more offensive than blackface. That's pretty funny. All right, we don't want to turn this show into a joke. We want to focus on the issue. So renewable energy savings bonds will finance the growth of new technologies. Some of you might like to get a job someday and not live off your parents and steal $20 bills from your purse just to buy your marijuana cigarettes. Some of you may actually feel that you might want to have a kid, and you can't do that unless you find a career. I think that that's very hurtful what you're saying in chat, and I'm going to have to ban that. Plus, you didn't even use lubrication. All right. Tomato Girl, yes, I can show you my pants. I am wearing pants. Hang on. This is going to be what politics will be in a second if you don't see my pants. See? Oh, good, I zipped up my pants. All right. Anyone who attempts to continue to attack us in the manner you are currently doing will be banned for approximately 3 seconds. My chat is not out of control, sir. In no way affiliated. They just want to have power over the show. You see, that's why they're spamming us. Well, you can ban forever, but it's not going to stop them. Because they haven't figured out how to stop me from banning them all. Well, if I turn guest chat off, then a lot of guests who want to chat want to go along with the show, and then they won't have the participation in any political venue whatsoever. So you trolls are actually trying to stop people from freely speaking out in their country. You're no worse than the censored, controlled media. You become an arm of the media by being a troll. Don't you realize that? You're just played, man. You were played from birth. You were taught to be a consumer and become part of the problem. So you come in our show thinking, oh, you're so cool because you could just cut and paste all night long. I'm not going to turn guest chat off. I like it on. Whirlwind's a retired NSA agent, by the way. David is clean. And I'm here to eventually leak top secret information. Whirlwind, wow. I'm scared. Should we alert the authorities on you, man? Why don't you just do it like Thomas Drake did? Thomas Drake, the whistleblower, he actually, God love him, he actually stood up for America. That'd be nice. We'll put a nice big picture of a flag over there. I think the White House should have a flag, don't you think? Well, many of them will be going to FEMA camps, whether they know it or not. Jenner is not truly Jennifer. I think that's, let's just wait till this whole thing with the hit and run mellows out. With all the technology we have, why can't we make toilet seats high enough that my junk isn't really? Okay. I don't know, man. You sound like you have a problem. Why don't you get a block and tackle while you sit down on the local toilet paper? No, Jenner is still a dude. Yeah, I have it on pretty good authority. He still is a man. But no, we have a lot of problems right now. Formaldehyde in homes. Oma is concerned. This is not a comedy. You're trying to crap all over what could be a very great political movement. You single-handedly could be the problem here. Adopt a third party, right. You know, you can also hashtag third party and it'll take us right to you. And we are at third party at our Twitter location. We have a multitude of connections out there on the internet. If you want to find out more about us, simply go to americasthirdparty.com and we're there. We've got a radio show. We've got a recent radio show I put out there to test my equipment. I'm going to be doing a radio show almost every week in the coming weeks. And I might even do a daily one eventually. But we used to do a lot of radio at one point. 147, I don't have the luxury of defining my audience. If I could, I probably would be Brian Williams. And I am regrettably telling you that I mistakenly, I don't want to be a Brian Williams. I want to be David Sponheim, and I want to speak from my heart, not read off a teleprompter or fabricate lies. So I don't fit into the mainstream media. Consequently, I'm relegated to the blogosphere where we all get to talk. So you should enjoy this. America is the audience. Right. Brian Williams does look like he's holding on to something in his mouth. You didn't like Ronald Reagan? Okay, a lot of people didn't like Ronald. I did not vote for Ronald Reagan. I voted for Jimmy Carter. And I'm sure Jimmy Carter would feel that my impression of Barack Obama was strictly racism. But I'm not a racist. A lot of Democrats misinterpret what parody really is. I don't think many Democrats ever watch Saturday Night Live, actually. I think they've kind of given up on it. Okay. How about the fictitious unemployment rates in the mass media, David? Is the economy picking up? Norman, no, it's not. We've got some really troubling times with the economic situation we're in. 92 million people out of 310 are out of work. That's not 5% unemployment. That's truly 30%, nearly 30% unemployment. So yeah, the economy can't really say it's picking up yet. But I can play you a video of an economist who can tell you that the economy is really in bad shape. But I don't have that video queued up right now. It's just not ready for me. All right. I got that video, by the way, last night, Innocence Destroyed, Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. And I can't play it on our show right now, but it's about a man who died in 2010 exposing the Child Protective Services organization. Many people believe he may have been killed. I'm going to be reviewing that again and again and trying to get a complete take on it. I may just do a compilation video like I did with Nancy Schaefer on my website, talking about how she was involved in investigating the CPS and uncovered a lot of unusual things. Yeah, there's been a lot of problems with our technological growth in America. To say that we are using our resources effectively is just not true. We're still wasting a lot of energy at our gas tank. We could easily have a lot more mileage out of our cars, but we're not getting it. And that's really directly related to the oil companies and how they've controlled the dialogue on energy consumption, efficiency. And like I said earlier, the air pollution standards are too stiff, preventing our nation's car companies like Volkswagen from importing some of the best cars made on the highway in the world. So we are purposely keeping our nation's cars energy inefficient, which is a little bit disturbing. Here's that whistleblower, Thomas Drake, I was telling you about. He took the effort to really expose the NSA. And he was the first guy, way ahead of Edward Snowden. He's a National Security Agency whistleblower. And Whirlwind, you want to pretend like you're him? Well, he really went out on a limb talking about the software he developed, which gives the NSA the ability to actually listen in on Skype communications. And he built it for foreign use when he found out it was being used
I've entitled my acceptance
domestically.
speech, "Is this the country we want to keep?" I want to first thank the St. Adams Associates for Integrity and Intelligence for bestowing upon us this truly special honor. I want to thank you, Jesselyn, for your introduction to me as a fellow whistleblower. I simply cannot say enough about your incredible energy, your diligence, your persistence, your dedication, and your tireless efforts that you so well demonstrated and displayed on my behalf during the government's criminal case against me. It was Jesselyn who wrote and spoke about my case with such outstanding focus and compelling clarity in terms of both content and context.
So he basically had to defend himself against charges the NSA made that could very well put him in prison for 30 years. We need more whistleblowers to talk about what's going on. And I believe that's the real, true guy that revealed the true story. I don't necessarily believe Edward Snowden has 100% of the facts right. The way that the situation with the NSA handling information in the information superhighway, you can't imagine them being that incompetent to let Edward Snowden go free and run over to Moscow. You can't imagine that. So there's very strong likelihood that the information that Edward Snowden is revealing may not be 100% accurate. It may be shared disinformation. And if it is part of a planned leak, the government is pretty on top of that. So I'm beginning to think that we do have a problem with the NSA overstepping their bounds, using technology inappropriately to violate our privacy. But at the same time, we have a better take right now on where we can go with the information that's already out there. If we frame it the way I just framed it, I think we'll be able to move forward in a very realistic way. And if you're at the NSA right now listening, you'll understand that the future is bright for keeping secrets. Right now, Barack Obama is maintaining an open book on cyber terrorism, literally telling our secrets to other countries, which is very dangerous. All right, moving on. I would record your tits? Really? Okay, so let's talk about what's on your mind. A lot of you are thinking about jobs, possibly in the tech sector, wondering how much coding you need to learn. Or can you work, just doing simple installs, like solar panels on rooftops. The ocean pipeline will be in place within 6 months of my presidency on certain areas. Central California will need an ocean pipeline. We can build these within 6 weeks. Short ones. Voting is rigged, but I'm not wasting my time running for president. No. We can overtake the rigging of the Diebold voting system by simply creating a popular uprising. Voting for a third party would be just that. I didn't know Frank Taylor was suffering. Thank you, you're lame. Yeah, bring home the jobs, Tomato Girl, yeah. So with the Democrats, Republicans, we've kind of lost track of privacy. Here Thomas Drake's talking about our national security secrets being revealed. We kind of lost track of freedom. In fact, we kind of have a White House with nobody in it. I know they don't count all the votes. I have a real problem with it. We're kind of sitting in an empty situation. We've got a president who has a very strong love of golfing. I don't think there's been a president with a greater love of golfing than this guy. And we're not really sure why, because he doesn't really brag about his golfing. He just likes to golf. That should be an indication that, his first major accomplishment will be to create this aircraft carrier, the USS Barack Obama. Soon to have a 3-course snack bar at every single hole, where you can get instantaneous light beer and dark beer from the White House. So that'll be fun. So that'll be kind of like a way to look back on his time as a president doing nothing and say, wow, he really accomplished a lot. Yeah, he could hang out with his butt buddy, Tiger Woods. I didn't mean to imply that Tiger was gay. I'm sorry, I was referring to Joe Biden. Excuse me. Back up. Tiger Woods is with a beautiful blonde. She's having... Did you know that Tiger Woods... This is tangential, I know, but did you know that Tiger Woods had his tooth knocked out the other day by a cameraman? Well, golf is challenging, but so is running the country. Okay, I'm going to come back in the show now. Okay, thank you. But I think our president could do more than just, play golf, don't you? Or are you one of those people that just wants to give him a pass because he's black? Okay. That's an irrelevant question. Focus on politics tonight. Let's not talk about my stools. I don't believe the Lemon Party is a significant threat to our growing third-party movement. And they make my mouth kind of perk up and it kind of, I don't like that. So we are trying to appeal to the common denominator in the room, and many of you are just primarily staying-at-home masturbators. We realize that. But you're going to want to do something in your life someday, and I want to be there to help you get training. So, hang on, there's a phone somewhere around here. Whoa. Oh, there it is. Hang on. Hello? Hey. No problem. Yes, we're out. All right. Take your time, no hurry. Okay, take care. Oh, I'll do that later. Okay, thank you. All right, take care. Bye-bye. All right. It's inappropriate, 721. We have to hold a higher standard here. We can't just, act like a bunch of jerks. Me putting out a butt plug with a cow next to my head was about as off base as I'm going to get tonight. Well, let's be clear. Sometimes your Obama sounds a little like Nixon. Well, that's because Nixon said, I want to make this perfectly clear. And Obama says, well, let's be clear. Yep, honey. Hello? Hello? Yeah. Oh, that's okay. Thank you. We got it. Bye-bye. Have you ever butt called somebody when you sit on your cell phone and call somebody? It's a butt dial. That happens. No, I don't think he's a blubbering idiot. I like Joe Biden. I always was fond of Joe Biden early on in his career. Many of you were in love with Barack Obama, and I'm not at all interested in him. I'm more interested in Joe Biden because he seems like the guy who's going to inherit the White House if Obama keeps it up. I don't know how long Obama's going to hold out. I mean, he might get impeached. You never know. Can you do a Bush impersonation? Well, people die fighting for democracy. Laura and I never did that. David, I think Joe Biden was replaced. No, you couldn't replace Joe Biden. He's authentic. He is who he is. You don't think he'll get impeached, Obama? What if Obama continues to want to fight for war against everyone's wishes? What if he violates national security again and again and again? What is it going to take for Barack Obama to be impeached? How many of our freedoms and bills of rights does he have to change with executive order for us to realize we've got a problem with this guy? Seriously, why are you people dragging your tail? You could embrace Joe Biden right now and he would take over. And we would automatically have a new president or vice president chosen, and like Richard Nixon did. He chose Gerald Ford. Biden could choose me as a VP, for instance. A real outsider with no political experience, helping the American people get a chance to speak out in American government. Be a great move. Oh God, David, you're so sexy. I can't control myself, I know. I found the secret to being sexy is to not masturbate too much. It's much better. If you over-masturbate, you lose your sex appeal. There's something about those pheromones and the testosterone levels or something. No, my hair's not green. It's actually yellow. But you're looking at the lighting, so you think it's green. That's okay. So how many of these Bill of Rights you want him to scratch off before you guys realize that he's definitely decorating the White House? We'll keep him over the corner here. He can be decorating the next to the clock there. He'll be. Obama, you work on the new wallpaper with no Bill of Rights in place. Jerry Ford was the guy who got the Warren Commission to close the case on JFK. That's an example of pure payback, if you ask me. Looking good, Davey. Hey, Red Solo Cup. Okay, do my gay voice as a decorator. I have to get up and get my glasses to do my Tim Gunn impersonation. Yeah, let me go do that. Hang on. Okay, everybody. Let's just make it work, everyone. Be sure to check the accessory rack on the corner over there. It's fabulous. You look dreadful. Oh my God. What's wrong with you? Oh, well, try something new. Smear some feces on your face or something. Do something different. Let's just make it work, everybody. All right, any other questions? I'm just doing impersonations. I don't care if gay people want to laugh or not. It's okay. At this point, I think Joe Biden is the only honest politician left in D.C. Yeah. I need some sun? No, I just need a camera augmentation. I'm keeping the pink down. I noticed that I was looking a little too Caucasian the other day, and I'm lowering the pink level. I don't want to be a pinko. I grew up in California, yeah. I don't get a lot of sun because I don't live in California anymore. I live in chemtrail land here in Washington State. It was an impersonation of a guy named Tim Gunn, Z2U. Project Runway. It's pretty funny. Yeah, so let's put our faith and trust in Joe Biden now, okay? Let's listen to a little Joe Biden and see what he's got to say. I cannot do a Sponheim impersonation. I've been working on it for years, unable to impersonate that guy. I just can't seem to nail it. Okay, let's see what we got here. Politics. Joe Biden on Joe Biden. Let's, think about him. He's going to be running for president in 2016. He's going to be my competitor. But I like him right now, I'll tell you, because he's not afraid to speak the truth. But remember the words of Brian Williams before we go on, because I know you guys are coming down from your addiction to Brian Williams. Let's just play a little of him right now on the subject of Jimmy Carter and racism.
This morning in Atlanta, former President Carter spoke up and spoke out against what he has seen emerging in some of the public protests against President Obama. We were in Atlanta to interview President Carter at the Carter Center for air at a later date in connection with his upcoming 85th birthday. During the interview, we talked about what some see as a heightened climate of racial and other hate speech since the election of President Obama. A certain number of signs and images at last weekend's big Tea Party march on Washington and at other recent events have featured racial and other violent themes, and President Carter today said he is extremely worried by it.
And I've seen the rest of the country that shared this South's attitude toward minority groups at that time, particularly African Americans. That racism in the nation still exists. And I think it's bubbled up to the surface because of a belief among many white people, not just in the South but around the country, that African Americans are not qualified to lead this great country.
Okay, well, we sure have seen. Yeah, he was a naval submarine officer. He was also a nuclear scientist. Yeah, and Brian Williams was never in that helicopter. But no, what Jimmy Carter is really referring to is his take on what people are doing, criticizing Barack Obama. He actually is referring to something like this, putting Barack Obama in a Nazi uniform. But what Jimmy Carter doesn't realize is Jimmy Carter was complicit in the production of what I believe is a national socialist economy. He was kind of the patsy during the 70s that allowed the rise of corporate America. And what he's not aware of is that this guy, Obama, really is a national socialist, much like Adolf Hitler. The same people that funded Adolf Hitler's rise to power, you can trace those same families right back to Barack Obama's rise to power in America, ironically. And many people don't realize that this is a long-standing attempt to control American politics. So what he's going on about is claiming that anybody who questions Barack Obama is a racist. Clearly racism is clearly a problem. But it's not the problem, Jimmy. The problem is Barack Obama is allowing corporations to dominate politics. And people like you, Jimmy, didn't understand that when you willingly joined the Trilateral Commission in 1976, thinking that it's just a great agency to work with, Rosalynn and all, and I just don't believe that this guy is even aware of what he's saying half the time. So I'm going to discredit Jimmy Carter because he's an old man. He doesn't understand what the hell this country's going through now, that he left a corporate economy and cronies running our politics. No, is it pretty good? 50 Shades of Grey? David, hello. Cater is an elitist. Carter is an elitist. I agree at this point. Jimmy went on the Million Man March. Okay. Okay, David, what has been done to increase partnership with friendly nations and strengthen relationships with unfriendly ones? What are future plans for this? Well, for one, I'm going to call the leaders of the world, even if Kim Jong-un is not accepting my call. Unlike Obama, I'm actually going to call Kim Jong-un. I'm going to reach out to the leaders of the world that we are having problems with, like Vladimir Putin, and try to patch the relationship up again, because Barack Obama has left us in shambles with Russia. 50 Shades of Dave. Yeah, I'll have to check that movie out. Thank you. We want to open the door to détente, and we want to engage in communication that will share our greatest goals with theirs. And we were on the same page with China before Barack Obama screwed that up with a 30% tariff on imports solar panels. China was producing solar panels. We were buying. The solar panel industry was doing really well for a long time. The price of solar panels was going down to $1 a watt, but it didn't work out. Barack Obama and his national corporate cronies, the same kind of people that National Socialists would encourage, he gave $527 million of your tax dollars to his crony corporation, Solyndra. And they closed their doors and went bankrupt and took your $527 million. So I'm going to put Barack Obama over here on the wall with what else he's doing. We'll mount that picture of his Nazi outfit. It's basically he's carrying on the same tradition of supporting corporate cronies instead of solving problems. So we've got a real problem here. A guy who is embracing companies like Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, literally in the back door of all these big, huge Wall Street companies, but pretending like, well, make no mistake about it, we're going to stop corporate abuses and we're going to make sure Wall Street pays their fair due. Far from it. In fact, he has given them every free ride on earth. Remember when the TARP money went out? The SEC said that you couldn't pay any CEO that received the TARP money more than $500,000 per year. Well, every one of those corporations that got that money abused it, and all of the CEOs had like $4 to $7 million salaries that year, and not one of them was punished. And the SEC didn't say a word. So Barack Obama has basically turned his back, lied to the people of America what he's going to do, and then turned his back and did a backdoor deal with all these people. Seriously. Are you upset? I am. I don't remember when Fonzie jumped a shark, but it must have been fabulous. It's a fabulous moment when Fonzie jumps a shark. Oh, there it is, yeah. This is when he was actually on water skis. The Fonz. Hey! That's pretty funny. Okay, let's change the subject because obviously that's not working. All right, let's pull down the ornaments around the wall here. There we go, and we'll get back to Technology Thursday. Oh, really? I didn't know. Yeah, so apparently solar panels are still pricey because China now is being charged a 31% tariff. Any new solar companies in China cannot possibly sell to America because they want to charge a 250% tariff. And that's killing a lot of the solar industry. I talked to a guy from Pennsylvania. He said, it used to be you could install rooftops for less than $50,000. Now it's barely possible. That's right, Henry Winkler. I met Henry Winkler. I talked to him for about a half an hour. We wouldn't torture top medical corporations into releasing the cancer cure, Dave. What I'm going to do, guess 417, the National Institute of Health spends 45% of all R&D in the big pharma sector. That's what the National Institute of Health does. They spend your tax dollars for research and development in big pharmaceuticals like Viagra and Cialis. So they make the money from Viagra and Cialis, and then they keep it. They won't make generic Viagra or Cialis, but they will take the money. So what we want to do is take a portion of that money the NIH, National Institute of Health, has, and divert it to a 24/7 Andromeda team. The Andromeda team will be focusing on solving cancer problems, dealing with viruses that are out of control in ways that would not necessarily mean vaccinations. We're trying to figure out how to build the immune system to challenge the cancer growth in America, as well as the potential for mutations among viruses. These are some of the cutting edge issues that need to be dealt with. So I would anticipate that a 24/7 Andromeda team will find a cure rather quickly. No more dragging on our feet or standing, pretending like they take lots of money in. They've got a cancer industry that they're building based on treatment. Your screen froze? Okay. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, try to eat organic. Try to avoid pesticides in your diet, just as a precaution. You wouldn't get the government to admit that they cause problems, but common sense will tell you don't want to drink toxins or eat toxins. So seriously, that's probably the only thing you can do to prevent the outbreak of cancer. Avoid products that have GMOs in them as well. My freeze froze. Is it all frozen here? I'm not showing any drop frames on my end. She'll be home real soon, don't worry. Sarah's picking up some milk. Yeah, and you can get solar power pieces for $1 at Radio Shack while they're closing, folks. So if you guys want to make your own solar power panels at home, this is a great opportunity. Looking good. Cool. Yeah, so I'm urging everyone to kind of build their own sustainable little life. I recently picked up 100 watts of solar panels. I've got a windmill. I'm building a battery grid, so in case our power does go out here at the house, we'll have enough power in the battery grid to power up our refrigerator with the power inverter. These are the things I'm trying to deal with, because if we ever have a complete meltdown, your food in your freezer and your refrigerator is the most vulnerable food of all. You have to at least power up your refrigerator for about a week or so to let everything stay cool enough to eat before you have to waste it all. Because you're going to want to eat out of that refrigerator for a while, and be sure to stock up in the cupboards and your closets for a potential outage. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, I'm literally always prepared for whatever can come to pass. I've never really believed that the government was all there 100%. I did some calculations on the amount of oil that is stored in our country, how many proven oil reserves we have, how many strategic oil reserves we have. I did some calculations on my own, which came up with a very shocking fact. And that is that if we had a complete shutdown of all transportation in and out of the country, it's a scary fact I'm going to tell you, we would have enough oil or gas to survive about 3 to 5 days without massive shortages. The government would keep a supply about 30 to 50 days for the military. So in 2 months, it would literally be like pandemonium, and we wouldn't even have people going around in vehicles unless they had stored up fuel. I can do calculations instantly in my head. I can look at big numbers and come up with answers quickly. Go ahead. Hey, who's this? Hello? No, you're not the NSA. Who are you? Yeah, right. Kills. Really? Okay, let me see go ahead and type in the root. You want to pretend to be the NSA, you could certainly be going to jail for that. Go ahead and type in the room. I'm watching. Go ahead. Okay, I'm not giving anybody immunity. I think it's pretty... Okay, so what are you going to talk about? Just... Well, that would be a private... Yeah, that would be a private conversation. Well, I don't think... Well, great, thank you. But I don't think it's appropriate to talk about me in front of this audience, because I have rights to privacy too. All right? So if you want to talk about me, talk to me. The known and the unknown. No. What's the noise in the background? Are you working in a large like a work area? Okay. "20 terabytes of information." Wow, that's impressive. This guy's working, claims he works at the NSA, and he's got 20 terabytes of information rolling in front of him right now. And could you give me like the gist of what you want to talk about openly? Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah. A lot of people in the room. Well, Meow TV is yeah, they're all people that, yeah. Yeah, well, if you were working for the NSA, somebody said you'd be watching porn right now. But no, this guy literally wants to be taken seriously, and he says he works for the NSA, and he wants to talk about our agenda. You want to? I can go public with that. Yeah. Okay. Well, everybody has a Google address capability. Anybody can look at my house on Google. It's not necessarily our house. Okay, in real time, what do you see in the front yard? What do you see in the front yard right now? Okay, what else do you see? All right, yeah. Well, we're going to go public with this because this guy claims he's. All right.
But we just want to let you know that we're here in the wind, and we're.
All right. All right. No, I'm not. I'm just trying to talk to. I'm trying to get the validity of the conversation. You know that I can't verify your status as an NSA member. You realize that, right? Hello. Yeah. See, once I went public, he got off. That's interesting. Yeah. Sounds like somebody's watching us. Yeah, they would never call on the phone. That's right. And he would know that I have a hybrid car because he's seen our show. So everything he said is completely unidentifiable or unverifiable. No, I am not a shill for the government. I would never be a shill for the government. I really want to represent the American people on every level. I cannot imagine going through the tedious and arduous process of building a third party without having the legitimate will of the people in my mind at all times. I cannot possibly see doing that. I would not run this effort if it wasn't for you who keep me going. I need supporters. I need an entire group of people to get a third party off the ground. The reason, and I'm going to address his question because I think even if I take him seriously, if he really is an NSA agent, the real question is, what is our agenda? At America's Third Party, our agenda is really quite simple. Open a political dialogue with the American people. Build a centrist political platform that makes sense for both the fiscal conservatives, and the social liberals that want change, and make sure that the American taxpayer doesn't have to finance it. I would expect every person out there to be concerned about a third party because, frankly, I was concerned about a third party. When I heard that Ross Perot is running, I thought, well, that guy's got some sort of an agenda. He's a $100 million millionaire. He's now worth a lot more than that. What was his goal? I didn't trust a millionaire running for president under a third party name. Yeah, bring the jobs home. I agree. And then along came Ralph Nader. It seemed like he couldn't pull it off. He didn't have the charisma that you need to win. But he certainly had a lot of good ideas, but I didn't trust him completely, but I knew that he was in the right direction. And at that point I said, well, we're never going to change these two parties that are bought off and controlled by powerful moneyed interests outside of our country. And I would urge you, whoever's listening at any agency of the government, that your job is dependent upon the American people, not on some European backer, not on some financier who's financing a secret op in this country. Your job is basically what I will help preserve if you are truly looking out for our national security. I don't trust David Duke. What's there to talk about? He has an extreme white supremacist agenda, and it's far on the right. I'm not far on the right. Okay. I don't even know who Hal Turner is. Yep, Americans continue to say that a third party is necessary. Here's another link. So the real story here is, how do we elevate from just being a third party phenomenon in American internet activity? How do we get to the next level? And on our website is the methodology. It's very difficult, but it's simple too. All it means, printing out a document to get me on the ballot in your state. Having your mom, your dad, your friends sign the document, as long as they're legitimate U.S. citizen voters, we can all make this happen. We can start slow and build momentum, and eventually, if we got on the ballot in Iowa, it would change the dimension of everything. 58% of our country says a third U.S. political party is needed because the Republicans, Democratic parties do such a poor job. There you have it, right there. And we came up with America's Third Party, which gives us a format to pursue this dream. We have a nightly show that's broadcast and recorded. This is last night's show. You can watch it every night if you miss it. It's on Google. It's something that we're very happy to use Google as a storage area because it provides us with a less memory to use on our end. But down here, under bringing it to the people nightly, we also want to show that we are 100% FEC compliant and have been from the very beginning, 6 years into this. And we've never taken personal profit or money from any of our donations. It's all stored in a bank account with Sarah and my authority to delegate it to strictly the campaign to elect David John Sponheim for president. And our petition is right here. And if you download the petition to Iowa and you know anybody in Iowa, send it to them in a letter and tell them to get people on the petition. If I can get on the ballot in Iowa, this is a huge start. And the best part about this is I'm paying for $1 per signature to get on the ballot in Iowa. $1 per signature for the first 1,500 signatures we get from various people. 15 separate, or 150 per county. There's 10 counties in Iowa. 1,500 total signatures. $1,500 I'm willing to donate to you as a payment for getting me a signature, for each signature. All right. I do not like Prince at all, no. I'm not a big Prince fan. Anyway, that's how simple it is, okay? To create this third party. I could take Iowa easily. And I can assure you I can take every single state if I get 5 seconds or 15 seconds of media time. But I feel like a broken record. I do not have a dark side. I'm a person who's been in the forefront of the media for the past 6 years, and you've seen everything. You've met my sister. You know all about the history I have with her. I'm not bribing the people for votes, no. This same technique was used back in 2010 with the Americans Elect group for 2012. They were giving people $2 a signature at the time. It's not a bribery of votes. In fact, I've cleared it with the Secretary of State in Iowa. I'm making it worth your while to stand out in front of a market and collect signatures. And that'll make you $150 in a short period of time in Iowa. But getting me on the ballot in Iowa is the first step in this huge race for 2016. Once I get on the ballot in Iowa, I'll have the ability to cross that big divide between where we are now in the blogosphere and the big mainstream media, who refuses to air any of my recorded videos. I recorded a video with Lee Stoll over at Cairo TV last August, and she never played it. She never wanted to play it. They were basically trying to intimidate me. And it's ironic that she came up to me and she said, "So, do you think the blackface video will hurt you or help you in the upcoming election?" I said, "Well, frankly, it's going to help me if this is the first time in 6 years that Cairo has been to my house to interview me, but we've been pursuing a third party for 6 years. I thought you said you were a Democrat. Well, I became preferred Democrat because I was a Democrat for 30 years. And frankly, I still don't see a third party in this state. So I ran as a preferred Democrat. Is that okay? All I can tell you is they're afraid of me. I can smell fear. And I know that when I smell fear, I'm onto something. I'm onto something good. I can feel it. I can taste the victory. It's just a long way away, and it needs a lot of steps to get there. It may be 2020 that we do this, but it's going to take a lot of effort to get to this next level. There a CNN op? Okay. The taste of victory is coming. You got no answer back. Yeah, scissor fight. A lot of people have tweeted her and emailed her, and she refuses to take any emails or Twitters. She's not a representative of the free press. She's part of the controlled media. And she knows her place. She knows that she cannot possibly play my video. I look too good. Everything about me says win, win, win. Do not let this guy get on TV. Kenny Lenny just said a very nice compliment. If you never become president, David, it'll be a damn shame for this country. Thank you, Kenny. That's a very nice statement. I know, and they hung up on you, 93005. A lot of people have tried, and I appreciate your effort to try. We're knocking on the wall of voodoo. And you could keep trying, and it would be, a valiant effort, but they're not going to respond. They don't want to respond to anybody. We found this out in 2008 when we ran press releases from 08 to 012 for our party. And not one of them responded in a positive way. We never got any press releases. I had phone calls set up in our national radio shows to talk to people about a third party, and they were canceled. I had one call that was completely canceled at a Seattle station. I got them on the phone. They said, hello. I said, hi. Can you hear me? Hello. Who is this? Yeah, this is David Sponheim. I'm ready for my interview about third parties. Hello. We can't hear you. So I called back from another phone, a different type of phone, a cell phone, or a landline, and they still couldn't hear me. So they're basically evading anyone discussing any issue. By controlling the message, the two parties have defined what the message is. We're not allowed to question GMOs. We're not allowed to question why we're still starting more wars around the world. We're not allowed to question the massive amount of incompetence coming out of Japan with Fukushima still leaching radiated material into the water at alarming rates, 6 swimming pools a day into the ocean. We never get any answers about the spent fuel rods all around our country that are sitting there in massive, huge vats that are potentially dangerous, could spill, could be used as a dirty bomb, any number of things. We're not getting any answers about anything. The number of homeless people has doubled since Barack Obama became president. But they won't talk about homelessness. They've never talked about homelessness once on any major television show relating to Barack Obama. He doesn't want to address homelessness. He wants to paint out the situation in the Gulf of Mexico as, well, problem solved. We got rid of the problem, and we no longer have a huge oil spill. To the contrary, we've got a massive oil spill underwater, and it is sitting down there like a lake, a massive lake the size of 5 states, underwater in the Gulf of Mexico. We should be developing technologies right now to harvest that. We could have a sucking technology that could literally suck the water and the oil out and separate them. I'm going to show you a simple technology that could easily work right now, and we could deploy it on barges off the coast of New Orleans. This technology could easily solve the oil crisis that's happening. Okay, this technology right here takes the water
Pretend this backyard swimming pool is an ocean. By adding a few gallons of crude, a simulated oil spill disaster is created. The Richter system goes to work at an incredible rate of speed to remove the oil from the water, pumping up to 5,000 gallons per minute. The contaminated water is sucked out of the pool and into a tube. It spins very rapidly, creating a vortex. The oil, which is lighter than water, is forced into the middle of the pipe. Here is the core of oil surrounded by the water. The water, heavier than the oil, spins to the outside. Once the oil and water have been separated, a smaller pipe is placed into position to suck up the oil spinning in the center.
Okay. You get the gist. No, it's not a weapon. It's something we could suck the oil out of the ocean with. It's very simple. You have any idea the cost of this, David? Yes, I do. I've done projected cost analysis on it and got a return on investment within a year. The oil that we can suck will pay for itself within 6 weeks, just for the barge alone. No, not billions of dollars. Your problem is you want to contract everything out. That's the problem with government today, is they want to contract everything. They even contract propaganda. We ran a story the other day about all this ISIS stuff that's coming out, the beheadings and all that stuff. Those nasty little beheadings that have happened. Well, it turns out that there's a woman creating these ISIS videos. And we have a link for you guys to take a look at. The items that we're talking about are being produced by a woman named Rita Katz of Bethesda, Maryland. And she's got some explaining to do, I'll tell you that. I don't understand, first of all, why all these videos of alleged beheadings have been so graphically inaccurate and Hollywood-like. And this will get you to the hardcore reality that this woman's making money doing it. Outsourced, contracted to create videos for propaganda purposes. She is the source of the ISIS Folly, Sotloff, Haynes, Henning, Headshopter videos. She released the ISIS videos before ISIS did. Her company site is also the source of the 2004 fake bin Laden videos. An Israeli citizen, her company finds jihadi videos on terrorist forums and sells them to the U.S., according to this argument. All I'm saying is we've been outsourcing everything. So our government is in the process of buying every aspect of the internet up, where they're printing up dollars out of thin air, getting free loans from the government. Front companies like In-Q-Tel are purchasing up the backbone of Google through shell corporations like In-Q-Tel. They have control over Google, and then they can monitor the internet. So they can create fake stories. They can even execute a command to have robots start spewing propaganda. There's probably programs right now that are developed to spew any propaganda you want to spew in multiple forms on multiple venues. So they're controlling the message so much that we haven't had an open dialogue on politics in the American lexicon of political discussion. A person like me is not going to get into the conversation with Bill O'Reilly. He won't let me. No, my signs were all destroyed and stolen. I have not found them or located them. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, there's a lot of controlled message going on. A lot of you realize that, and I know I'm talking to the choir here and preaching to the choir about that. Many of you are fully aware of the shills that are promoting false truths or disinformation mixed with truth. You can't really always tell what's true and what's not. Let's do it live. That's right. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Yeah, well, you're going to have to do whatever you can. I would recommend doing your own live feed as well, Oma, to prove your truth. Have you not broadcasted yet your story? Because you could probably develop a channel and people would love to listen to it. Your story is very compelling, and you could just go into detail. Yeah, and it might help other people retrace their steps with their family and their missing kids. There's a lot of people looking for their long-lost babies. It would be a very good, strong position. You could even work on expanding into the missing children area. I don't think you'd be able to have a lot of pictures of kids on Vaughn because they don't allow them. But you could go on a network like You Now or something. Yeah, there's a lot of weird forced adoption cases, children being abducted from their homes. Lots of weird stuff going on right now. You know, you can't rebuild your smile one tooth at a time. You have to get three-dimensional press-on veneers like I got to do it. Sarah and I saw this company when it first came out. Now there's a couple of competitors, so you may want to shop around. I didn't have the luxury of that. But press-on veneers provided us with an answer to our problems. People were saying, David, what's wrong with your teeth? And I said, well, I really just need a decent smile. So why can't I just get something that's technologically amazing?
Are you embarrassed to smile? At Brighter Image Lab, we changed Kristen's smile online with no dentist visit in just 7 days.
7 days.
Kristen knew she needed to improve her smile. We knew that our unique innovations in design and technology could completely transform her smile. We offered her a choice that was affordable. We gave her results that are amazing. Each press-on veneer is created to fit your teeth exactly and designed to give you a beautiful smile. And we're now accepting clients.
They're now accepting clients. So I'm not here to promote their company, but I can tell you that really was a quick fix for us. I go to my dentist and he says, yeah, I can fix that tooth for $300 and that tooth for $260. And then when I'm done, I still have a yellow smile. Now you are a robot. Yeah, a lot of people should look into it. We made the decision to do it, and partly because I did that blackface video. In 2014, I did another one, and I had to look a lot better, so I went ahead and did that. And I realized it was the best thing I could have done. Anyway, yeah, they're going to be a lot cheaper. You're going to be able to print these up for a lot less probably in the future. I would say right now the number is $650 for Sarah and I per person. You're going to be able to do a lot better probably in the future. I would anticipate these things costing like a couple $100 eventually. Seriously. I don't know what they cost now, what the competitors are charging, but that's what we paid per. Okay, Ramadi city has been seized. 300 U.S. Marines are trapped at the base. Wow. Okay. This makes it a little bit more real. When ISIS seizes a Ramadi city with 300 Marines in it. Okay. Well, we're not sure how to process that information. I seriously don't have enough solid information that press off veneer. Okay, I see your name. I don't have enough solid information to verify exactly part of ISIS is real and which part is fake. I'm still kind of processing this because I'm looking at various stories, like the story I just sent you regarding that woman that was creating the ISIS videos, clearly fake. Yet this looks pretty real when 300 U.S. Marines are trapped at a base in Iraq. Hey, Funkin' Junkie. This president is a little bit worse than Jimmy Carter. He doesn't answer to all the questions that people have of him because he claims that he is, the best way to describe it, black. So he uses the shield of blackness to defend against any questions that he may have. Like, what about Benghazi, Barack Obama? Well, let's be clear. We're not going to be able to respond to any ridiculous accusations about my administration. And then everyone says, well, anyone keeps talking about Benghazi is obviously a racist. I mean, so we can never really find out about Benghazi and all the truth about that. It turns out that Barack Obama did indeed deliver a fake story about innocence of the Muslims contributing to the attack on Benghazi. That did not originate with the CIA. We know enough now to know that that was an origination out of the White House itself. And there's evidence that the Innocence of the Muslims movie itself was created by a federal informant, which makes it even more suspicious. But is this getting out there in the mainstream media? No. Are we even talking about Benghazi? The talking points have moved to ISIS. They're redirecting us to Syria. Now we're sending $500 million and 600 troops into Syria to train rebels, Muslim rebels, to attack and kidnap innocent Catholic and Christian Syrians. I mean, it's crazy what's happening. We are on such a different wavelength than reality. It's ridiculous. We're living in the dream world of the CIA art department, where they can come up with whatever they want to stimulate the reason to start another war and engage and send our young men off to war, so that they can make Americans believe that our economy is suffering because of a war, as opposed to the rampant money grabbing that's going on in Wall Street. It is Technology Thursday, and I'm going to bring Sarah in to talk about that. Oh, no hurry, Sarah. Really, I just want you to relax right now. I'm going to bring up some of the technologies that we have on tap for you at our website. One of them is, we talked about getting oil out of the ocean, of course. I've got some concepts that I'm promoting that would invariably solve a lot more of the problems facing the country. We put a few in our book. Hybrid capitalism. This is one of the ideas in our book, a concept to create a water power barge that's tethered to land with a wire and a water line. And these floating pyramids could float in the ocean right off the coast of any major city and desalinate water and generate electricity at the same time, using all kinds of means like point absorbing kinetic generators that bounce with the ocean waves, or that flow with propellers when the ocean kicks in on each side of that pyramid. Inside the pyramid is a passive desalination chamber. They could very well create a tremendous amount of fresh water. So we could pipe water and electricity back to shore. We can build these things affordably and put them out there. We could even retrofit them to clean the water in the ocean, like off the coast of New Orleans. But we use a simple design for desalination called our Ocean Pipeline Project. And the Ocean Pipeline Project is pretty basic. Seawater goes into the central area of each module. And because the module is clear, sun bakes in on it, and it's all a closed environment. So sun bakes in, the seawater evaporates fresh water, dewdrops of pure water, then collect on the inside and then drip down into the reservoirs, and we store the fresh pure water on the side, making it very easy to create fresh water, eliminating the conflict of fossil fuel produced desalination. Because the more energy we burn, the more greenhouse gas we get, and obviously that's a losing scenario that would end up costing us a lot. Hi, Sari.
Hi, David.
How are you?
Great.
Good. So these are ideas that have to come to fruition. We need to develop a plan to get there, and we need a lot of political clout to do it. So we can't make these things happen unless we actually get noticed. These ideas are very good, and they're not going to cost you a penny at all, because they're all powered up essentially by renewable energy savings bonds and an infrastructure bank. The infrastructure bank will be not drawing money directly from your tax dollars, but will have a 2% loan to the discount rate at the Treasury, and will provide a lot of the solutions without having to cost you anything as a taxpayer. Renewable energy savings bonds will be private funded or public funded, whatever. People could buy into them, and people can get those things a 4% return on their investment. Okay, Sarah, thank you so much for making it in. Thank you.
300 U.S. Marines are trapped at a base
Yeah.
in Ramadi City. Wow. I did not make bacon today. I think I ate the rest of that package of bacon already.
That's good, yeah.
I'm not wearing a wig. I am wearing makeup, and some makeup I just got.
Oh, really? Wow. It arrived in the mail?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
My lips.
Oh, cool. I noticed that, yeah. It's good coloring. You went for a good color. Yeah, she got her lipstick, and she didn't know what color to get, and I'm glad you got that, because I was toying with a lipstick for Christmas ideas like that. I saw some lipsticks that just wouldn't have worked, like cherry. Too red. She needs some basic bare minimum.
This color, you wouldn't believe it. It's actually like a brown. It's beige.
It's a beige color. When it goes on, it has kind of a peach tone.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect for your eyes.
Beige
yeah.
brown or something.
No problem. I'm glad the guests are coming in and talking. I'm not BSing you about any of these ideas. They're just very amazing ideas that could very well trigger growth and innovation in our country.
Oh, cool. Today is Abraham Lincoln's birthday. There's no school for many people across the country on Monday.
Wow. Cool. I'm glad our post office was having problems. It's kind of wild. Their entire system on the island was shutting down, she said. The USPS was having a problem getting their servers to upload on our island. We don't know what was going on.
That's weird,
yeah.
because a few days ago, the city and the schools were having problems.
Yeah, that's weird, yeah. You know, we are so reliant on our infrastructure. Whenever we've had problems with our signal and our internet went down, it was always frustrating. Sometimes we would even go downtown to our local coffee shops to broadcast just to keep our show going, especially when we were being DDoSed. Someone somehow accessed our IP address on Skype, and we found out we couldn't do Skype anymore because of that. They have a huge problem.
Did you check the mail? No.
No.
You went. Well, I actually did. There was no mail.
Oh, okay. Yes, they're slowing down delivering your packages the past 2 weeks. Wow. According to 93005, USPS is slowing down.
You get this mood lipstick that is like a stain, and it stays on for a long time, for hours. Wow.
We can do that, Juan. We have a plan to go mobile this summer, and we have a whole package. I'm working on a mobile tablet radio broadcast to broadcast from the Note 10.1 mobilely. I did the test broadcast last week on our radio show. If you want to listen to it, it's not bad.
The ways I'm like a hippie and I'm not like a hippie. I'm like a hippie because I love everyone and I have long hair and I like flowers in my hair. I'm not like a hippie because I don't do any drugs or go, what's that word, flashing?
Yeah.
I think that was the 70s thing.
I have my, I'm borrowing Sarah's, we share our tablet.
No, we have two. We actually have two.
We have a Chromebook, we have 2 tablets, we have a laptop, and we've got this desktop computer. And I also have an old XP that I run my old gaming shows on, and I do some audio editing on.
Well, people can always call in to David's radio show.
Yeah, the radio show was a great show. We did 200 shows back 2 years ago, and I'm returning with the radio program, and that's when we can take callers during our show. But I've yet to nail down all the bells and whistles on this to make it work for us on our show. Right now, I wanted to share with you that I have Minicam running, as you can see, and we have the possibility of going on YouNow again. And Businessman said that YouNow has a potential for some viewers again, so we could possibly try doing YouNow today as a test.
Oh, sure.
The radio station is on our main website, America's Third Party. And it's right there at the radio icon. And you can watch our most recent, or listen to our most recent one that was done on a tablet from a Wi-Fi hotspot. I can bring it up right now to show you the quality of it.
He's done shows on Blog Talk Radio.
Yeah, Blog Talk Radio. I've got a TalkShoe account. I'm thinking of, it's kind of lower quality than Blog Talk Radio. Blog Talk Radio only gives you 30 minutes of free time.
Well, 8401, you can definitely contact all the big radio stations. I don't have time to do that. David doesn't have time to do that, but that's something you can volunteer your time doing.
Yeah.
You can contact all of the major radio stations and say, hey, you should carry an hour or 3 hours of this guy doing his show, and here's his information, and they can then contact us, and we'd be happy to have our feed that we normally do on here through there.
Call Talk Radio. You could go to our volunteer hub and Call Talk Radio right here. If you click that, it takes you to a page with all kinds of phone numbers. It teaches you how to do this. It tells you all these stations, Chuck Baldwin, Bob Barr, Glenn Beck. You can get all these people to contact, and then you can set up an appointment for me to actually call into their show.
Some of those are old, but you can.
Yeah, some of the numbers still work though. Sarah's made it available for you guys to help with all the background volunteer work we need. I cannot speak at any local events or any public meetings because of the number of death threats that I currently have against me. Unless I have adequate security, I can't possibly speak at local events. I'm sorry. But here's our radio show. You can listen to it in archive. You look at the radio icon right here. Click there. No, we don't have any paid volunteers. It's all donated time. And here's my most recent thing, tablet broadcasting. So let's see how it came out.
Blog Talk Radio.
Let's see the quality. You hear my tablet.
Hello, and welcome to America's Third Party Radio. We are just getting started again, rounding up a lot of interest in a third party to challenge the two-party system. I'm David Sponheim. I'm running for president in 2016. And I would like to tell all of you that our nation is in serious danger of slipping into the hands of complete corruption. The two parties are completely owned by corporate America, and multinational money interests are dominating our politics. If you're an average voter, you're going to want to listen to these shows. You're going to want to know more about why we need a third party and how it's going to help you get a more opportunity in college, more money to get started in a small business, or just save on your taxes. We've got a plan to get the business aspect of the government to work efficiently. And that plan can be implemented as long as we create a new wave of political honesty.
Okay, so all of that is possible. Thank you. I'm going to come back in the show now. But yeah, you can go to our website and check all that out. I'm going to be working on a lot more special effects, making the show more interesting. I sound a little like, yeah, sorry, Dave, the sound is bad. No, I know it's not good. I've got better sound quality coming. But I just wanted to see how good it was on a tablet. My next step is to take the laptop and a USB dynamic mic, and I'm going to check that sound quality, and then I'm going to use the quality of the century, which is the finest recording digital audio recorder on the market. We have that, and we're going to be using that for our portable feeds that we can upload to our radio show. But right now I'm kind of limited because we can't afford a $30 a month plan with Blog Talk Radio. So I can only go on for 30 minutes at a time, and it has to be non-prime time. So I have another account at TalkShoe, and we can do stuff like that.
Not yet, 841. Not yet.
Yeah, and the IRS is going to pay back refunds to illegal immigrants who didn't pay taxes. Yep. This is what we've got with the president that's allowing this.
I'm Alex Moyer, and this is your exclusive Washington Times Daily Briefing. A federal court in Texas ruled that residency requirements for pistol purchases is unconstitutional. The ruling directly challenges Attorney General Eric Holder, who argued the federal ban on handguns outside of a person's state of residence doesn't violate the Second Amendment.
It also allows any resident of any state to go to a neighboring state, purchase a handgun, and then take that gun back to their state if it's legally allowed. So this is the first time this has been allowed since the 1968 law went into effect that effectively banned the handgun market sale to out-of-state residents. What's going to happen next? Most likely
they're going to try to overturn it in appellate court. Yeah, but yeah, there's a big, huge move to allow guns to be sold and carried over the borders between states. So that's certainly not a problem for me. I've used SoundForge. I don't need to edit the sound quality. I need to, because I'm not doing a post edit on the audio. I have ample tools to do post edits on audio. I'm actually doing live streaming audio and trying to get the best quality.
Guest 3986, it's not that they're actually trying to knock us off. It's that they're enjoying our show.
Yeah. They're enjoying. We got a call from the NSA allegedly. I said I couldn't verify it, but the guy, as soon as I put the message on the audio speaker, he dropped off the call. He didn't want it recorded. So it's highly doubtful if it was a real NSA agent. You're being tapped? Oh my gosh. I've been in a lot of conversations with people that have said some crazy stuff, and the phone went dead. It's like we were being tapped or something. Real wild stuff. I'll never forget the statements coming out of Businessman one day when he was telling me about this Stapp guy that was having a problem with the money that he got and the rock group he was involved in. And it was like the whole call was being listened to. It felt weird. But who cares at this point? I'm not going to talk about that subject. Obama is trying to protect Islam and is seeking to destroy Israel. Coming from Scissor Fight, Mark Levin is talking about how Obama is trying to protect Islam. Wow. I don't have anything to hide. I've done nothing wrong. I'm totally innocent of any alleged wrongdoing. If anyone's claiming I'm doing something wrong, I've never done anything wrong in my life.
I don't eat any new dishes.
So President Obama is now... His failure to honestly address the threat of the Islamic State and radical Islam, along with his actions toward Israel, show that he is trying to protect the Muslim faith and is seeking to destroy Israel, according to this nationally syndicated host, Mark Levin.
Thanks, Nancy.
Or Mark Levine.
Thanks, Sherry.
Okay, great. The Chapel Hill murders look to me like a random attack over parking, not a hate crime. A study came out today. People dump 8 million metric tons of waste into the ocean. Wow. That's why we have the Pacific Gyre and the Atlantic Gyre, a massive area the size of Texas.
I did you?
Floating waste.
Sherry? Oh, yours is coming up.
Yes, Levine is that. Well, if you want to hate on Netanyahu, bear in mind that Israel is the last vestige of democracy in the Middle East and the largest Islamic democracy in the Middle East. Always realize that. Cherry Breeze is in. Hello, Cherry Breeze. Long time no see. Thanks for coming to our show. Nancy J completely trusts Sarah. That's kind of cool. We don't really go to the InfoWars site, Fishware, but I'll do it just for you. Obama lied about Obamacare. No kidding. Yeah, I don't need to go there
to know
that he lied about Obamacare. Yeah,
and he knew that he was lying.
I've announced that he lied about no mandatory health insurance to beat Hillary Clinton in the primaries in 2008. Remember how you used, I should send teeth to people? I don't think I could afford press-on veneers for everybody. I don't support AIPAC. I won't take any money from that super PAC, just because I'm not going to be the mouthpiece of Israel. We will, however, seek to work diplomatic ties with Israel and make sure that they know that we will support them with air power if they're ever attacked, but I will never send troops into the Middle East. I will subtract our troops from the Middle East. My solemn promise to the American people. We don't want to upscale war like Barack Obama does. We don't want to do what John McCain wants to do, which is to go kick some butt, and he doesn't even know whose butt that we're kicking. I don't know. I don't think she's going to emigrate to America. I know. Our troops should have been back by now. They're still defending the warlords that produce heroin in Afghanistan. Ask your local Democratic Committee party to ask Barack Obama why he continues to support heroin production in Afghanistan. I'd like to get a response, because the American people have not even heard about this in the mainstream media, yet Afghanistan just announced a 17% boost in heroin production this past year alone. All because our troops are defending the warlords. They're not allowed to come home and talk about it to you or their family members. That's one thing they're not allowed to talk about, but you piece it together. We've been there long enough to show a massive increase in the amount of heroin being produced in that region. All right, so I'll take that down. Let's get a different background. We had a really cool background we came in the other night with. It was a it's pretty high tech. I'll bring it in because this is Technology Thursday. So if you're planning a career in technology, you can get started right away by starting to learn coding, right? Like codeacademy.org.
Code Academy, code.org.
Code.org.
There's other ones. But if you go to code.org, they have links to many different ones. Scratch.mit.edu.
Right. Let's bring in this wild technological background here.
His name is David. His middle name is John.
Yeah, I'm David Sponheim.
Thanks, Sheriff Brown.
Okay, that's cool. All right.
I haven't, watched Big Bang Theory, no.
My name is David John Sponheim. I would love the show, Big Bang Theory. Cool. Is that on Netflix?
Maybe.
I'll check it out. We just started watching Californication. It's a pretty fun show. I look forward to each episode. Here we go.
I completely forget which show I'm watching.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, here we're dealing with a massive problem in the ocean, folks. The world's oceans are clogged by millions of tons of plastic trash. This is just one of the examples of this horrible problem. And if our country doesn't do something about this, no one will ever do anything. We're the strongest nation in the world. You'd think we'd be able to solve environmental crisis right on our own shoreline in New Orleans. But Obama just put it away like it didn't happen. Kind of sad, really.
Yeah, I've seen one season of Revenge.
8 million metric tons of plastic pollution enter the oceans each year.
Show me proof that Oak Harbor's polluting the oceans. Oak Harbor does things like they have their storm drains painted to say, don't let trash run into these storm drains because it goes to the ocean.
Thanks, Scissor Fight. Ooh, I like it. That's even better. You like it?
Yeah.
Let's try that one. This just came in from Scissor Fight. I like the blue.
Yeah, we watched the entire Dexter series.
Dexter was a good show. Yeah.
That was definitely a good one. As was the meth one.
The meth one, yeah. Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
That was a really good one.
But I haven't seen Lie to Me yet.
No, I haven't either. I like that a lot. Wow, that's great. I have not seen the new Revenge yet. Yeah. I liked Revenge. I haven't seen. We're way behind on our episodes of Revenge. Yeah, but isn't this great? Video on demand at such a low cost. Do you ever imagine it would be this affordable for us to download any video or movie that we can?
Right, 62949. Thank you.
Yeah, the Oak Harbor Navy and jets are polluting terribly. There's 5 Superfund cleanup sites on the island that I live on, Whidbey Island. It's one of the most beautiful places in the country, but sadly our nation seems to be focused more on creating old military-style jets instead of modernizing and developing high-tech UAV systems. I wish our local Navy would get their act together and start building unmanned aerial vehicles and unmanned water vehicles. It would be so much better if we focused on that. It is the future of defense technology, and we just keep allowing these huge F-18s and F-35s to fly over our head every day. I had one F-35 over my head today. There is no active weapon in the F-35. The gun that was developed for the F-35 will not be online till 2019. So basically, we're giving tons of money, $400 billion, to Boeing, to Lockheed to create the F-35. And over a 10-year period, $400 billion is a lot of money. And we're not even seeing results from this plane. Yet they continue to fund it. Drones use less fuel by a significant amount. Hi, Brittany. Brittany Spears is in the show. Hi, Brittany. How's it going? I understand you found a wonderful romantic person to be with, finally. It's good to know.
Thank you, Nancy J. Exactly.
I'm going to go heat up my coffee. I'll be right back. Thank you.
It's not about boredom. It's about... I'm not bored. I have plenty of things to entertain me. I have too many things to entertain me, in fact. So I pulled in many directions, and then I get tired because I've done it. Anyway. The world's oceans are clogged with plastic debris, but how much of it finds its way into the seas annually? Enough to place the equivalent of 5 grocery bags full of plastic trash on every foot of every nation's coastline around the globe. Wow. Yes, I did. 680. Thank you for noticing. Revenge is on Netflix. I know when people see the word yawn, oh, they start yawning. Yes. Maybe. Hi, Humpty. Register your address to make your home a no-drone zone. Interesting. Yeah, it's kind of like a flipper. Over my top teeth. Yeah. Ha ha ha, Oma. You started watching Gotham? Oh, that's pretty interesting. Oh, you like my other teeth? No, I have not watched. I mean, is that a spin-off of Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul? I haven't seen it yet. Is that on Netflix too? Ha ha ha. Okay. And Gotham. Yeah, David likes my new teeth. Yeah, you did. And a few other trolls as well. Oh, 2 episodes so far. I don't have AMC. I just have Netflix, and that's about it. So, I was going to check Netflix tonight to look for Ferngully or something like that. Has the Penguin, Scarecrow, Riddler, everyone. Oh yeah, Lie to Me. I should write that one down. You're Ronnie? Oh, hey Ronnie, what happened to your other... What happened to your other account? David already has new teeth. He just doesn't smile big enough for you to see them. No, I did not hear about BBC faking footage and interviews about Syria. I wouldn't doubt it, though. Well, David buys bacon at the store. I do not... I saw 1 episode of that show, Press Off, and I said, no, I'm not going to watch anymore. I don't know what we're gonna do for Valentine's Day. I was going to look for kettle corn and see where they sell maple bacon flavored kettle popcorn retail locations. I should have bought some from Amazon the other day because I bought some things on Amazon. Ugh. Oh, but it's $25 for 2 bags? That's crazy. Kettlebrand.com. I know, bacon is salty and fatty and all that. But I was getting that for David. I don't want to actually bookmark and share this for Valentine's Day. How much did my new teeth cost? Like David said. Did David tell the price? A lot. Oh, interesting. I'm going to see what I can do. 629. Little monkey kettle corn. Well, these didn't cost $2,000. Cost less than $2,000 for both David's and my. So I go to shop. I wonder what they have there. Yeah, it was actually a little less than 1,500. Yes, I can take them on and off. What is the cost of our monthly hydro? Isn't that water? I think it's 40 something. David knows.
An embarrassment smile. It's like, oh yeah, right. It's really somebody you bought it for.
No, I bought it for you.
Really? It'd be the first dozen roses I ever got. I mean, I gave you a dozen roses when you turned 21.
I know, and it took me how many years to get you some?
Well, that's true. 16 years. So, David, Sarah, we make a cute couple, yeah. Thank you. You used to have cats. Makes you very depressed. Yeah, we were thinking Amber would be our only cat. We're not going to get a replacement for her. I am blushing, yeah. No. I'm actually wearing rouge.
No. Well, you deserve roses.
So someone gave you the roses?
No, I bought the roses.
Oh, okay. Somebody's saying you have a secret admirer. Now I'm beginning to wonder.
No, I don't. No, I really bought them. I even have the receipt.
Oh, wow. Cool. That's even better.
Okay.
So Valentine's Day is coming up on the 14th. Is that right?
Yeah, Saturday. So we have to look and see if our normal place is probably going to be more expensive than it is usually.
We will certainly look into that. I could always, go somewhere else.
Oh, thank you, Scissor Fights.
I know a place where we get a free dinner on Valentine's. That might be the perfect match.
I know a place that we should go. Here.
Oh, over there, really? Is that a good place?
I don't know.
Okay, no, not Denny's. You can get a free meal on your birthday at Denny's, though. I found that out. I never went there on my birthday, but yeah. No. Believe me, nowadays dinner costs anywhere from $18.95 to $26.95 per person. So, why spend the money when you could just assume go to a barbecue and invite all the homeless people in your area and cook up chicken legs? And I thought that would be really nice.
Yeah, we could go to what's that place we used to go to get those great shakes?
Shakes, yeah.
Not shakes.
Jack in the Box.
No.
Golden Corral. Ooh, that's a reasonable place, yeah.
I was thinking, we should get what was it?
A Happy Meal.
Those fruit smoothies.
Oh, yeah, those are great. Jamba Juice.
Jamba
We
Juice.
could do Jamba Juice, one for her, one for me, $5 each for a massive Jamba Juice.
No.
That's a cheap meal. Eating in your car in a drive-thru just doesn't have that romantic feel. There's something about it that you lose the romantic aspect. It's like,
except when you're looking out at the beautiful ocean like we used to do. We used to get these salads and look out at the ocean. Oh yeah,
gosh, that was great. I used to love it. We had a salad place in our area that used to have almost all you can eat salad you could make to go. And you got to get this big container and filled it up for $2.50. So you'd have this massive salad, and we would just pork out in front of the ocean. We live right near the water. Within a mile of us is a beautiful beach, and we can go out there and enjoy the ocean anytime. So that would be romantic, truly. A picnic on the beach.
A picnic on the beach? That would be romantic.
Yeah, I could bring Jimmy Dean sausage sandwiches and pork bellies.
A beautifully cold beach. Yeah, it would be a cold beach.
You know, we would love to go to a lobster. You know, I was thinking of a tapas bar over. There's a great tapas bar in Seattle. I would love to take you to. It's fantastic for eating Spanish cuisine. Pretty impressive. But no, I don't think I can drive 250 miles round trip for dinner. Red Lobster, a lot of those have closed. Yeah. No, not topless bar. Tapas bar. Tapas is appetizers, Spanish style cooking. Very. I've never really enjoyed
I thought
the
it
good
had like
tapas bar.
hummus and
I'm blushing.
pitas. You want to show them your beautiful flowers?
Yeah, I'll go get them. Hang on. Since you're telling me they're for me.
They are for you.
Amber.
Well, it's Valentine's Day. I was going to get a maple bacon popcorn, but I couldn't find any, so I thought
These are like mini roses or something.
I don't think they have a great smell.
There's no smell, but at least they're not artificial. That's really cool. That's really pretty.
I think there's more than a dozen there. I don't know.
I don't know.
Coming up here.
If we put them all in water, you think they could replicate? We could grow our own?
We could try.
I understand if you put the long stems in the water, they grow roots and you can reseed them.
Mm-hmm.
Or replant them, yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure. I made Sarah a red sauce, a tomato beef chipotle sauce with beef chipotle sausage in it today. That looks really good. I'm going to put that on pasta and make her lunches, I think, for her. What's that noise? Did you hear it?
Yeah, I thought it was the cat opening the door.
Oh.
It's either the cat opening the door or
It sounds like
a ghost.
Come on in. Let's go.
Yes.
So technology would be great if we all lived in peace and harmony with our environment and didn't pollute so much. You know, when I hear about all this metric tons of waste, 8 million metric tons of waste every year, you know that 90% of all recyclables are not recycled? It's amazing. 90% of all recyclables don't go to the recycler. So, you know, no matter what people do, we're not making a big difference in the environment quick enough. It's clearly obvious to everybody that we are heading toward environmental destruction of some sort. And the question is our government really attentive to this, or are they just kind of ignoring it as it gets worse and worse? And then do they have some bailout formula where somehow, well, yeah, they do. They have the FEMA plan, the FEMA camp plan. That's not exactly a solution for the environment or for the people. So I think we could get ahead of this and fix the environment before it collapses on us. And I don't think we have to cave in the future with some apocalyptic Armageddon scenario.
And this is your exclusive Washington
Yeah, something's on.
See? A federal court in Texas ruled that residency requirements for pistol purchases is unconstitutional. The ruling directly challenges Attorney General Eric Holder, who argued the federal ban on...
That's good right there. Well, you found the kettle chip store?
Yeah.
Did you find the brand I'm looking for?
Well, they do have it.
Yeah, I'm looking for a kettle chip popcorn that is incredible. It's got the maple bacon flavor. 5 packs for $15. That's not bad. It's incredible. I mean, this stuff is like...
It's better than Amazon. Amazon has 2 packs for $25.
Oh, there you go. So that's cool. You're looking for birthday presents, I see. That's cool. Come on, David. Common David. Do you believe in aliens? Sarah, you believe in aliens, right? You have a firm belief that aliens exist.
Yep.
What about the possibility that that there's a life form out there other than human beings, or all the earthlings we call animals and insects? Insects are earthlings too. But I mean, what is the possibility? And the answer is 100% that there is some other life form in the universe. The Drake equation was developed in mathematics and has been expounded upon by mathematicians, showing that there's a 100% certainty that there is some sort of life form outside of the Earth. It's based on an infinite scenario where there's an infinite number. It's pretty simple, really. I mean, when you look at something with infinite possibilities, 100% guarantee occurs. that life exists off some other area of rock floating in space. I've seen a lot of UFOs, for real, MoMA. I've seen a cluster of UFOs in 1967 that many people saw in Orange County, California. I think it was June or July. 200 of them. 200 people have actually reported seeing these discs in the sky, and there were about 50 discs in the sky. I know that family members of mine have seen very strange things and reported them to MUFON, the society that reports unidentified flying object activity. No, they're not military. No. These things will drain your battery. If they're military aircraft that can drain your battery from a distance, they're using maser technology. And if they are very developed, yeah, it's very possible that we may have military aircraft like that, but not moving through the space as rapidly as we've seen. With all of us questioning whether the moon landing even occurred, why haven't we gone back in 50 years to go to the moon? And all this talk about the moon, being great for mining, but recently our administrator of NASA said that we will never mine the moon. What kind of a person would say that if they're in charge of our space program? So what's going on? We've seen a complete shift in the focus of our government, more towards sharing technology with private investors like Richard Branson, and not toward getting money back for the American taxpayer, not toward getting a return on investment from our activities out there. No, I don't think there's radiation involved in the maser technology program. Although I may be wrong. We're dealing with radio waves that are extremely high frequency, way beyond the visual spectrum. Oh yeah, smoking gun evidence of 1947 UFO crash. Right. Roswell, I don't have that link, 938, thank you though. But yeah, there's a lot of people who are very aware of the real truth behind Roswell. You know what the rumor is, that when they got the spacecraft, the thing that was really disturbing and the thing they didn't want anyone to know about, the government kept it secret because they found dissected humans on board the spacecraft. Eaten body parts. Yeah. So yeah, we're invited to dinner with the aliens. We are the dinner. So that's a big, huge reason why they would have kept it from us all this time. But I support the Full Disclosure Project, which means if I find out the truth about aliens, I'm going to reveal it to the American people. I think we have to. I'm scaring myself too. I mean, the very theory that we don't normally talk about this on our show on Thursday, but it is Technology Thursday. We could call it alien technology.
Yeah, we put these in another room.
No,
I put them in some water.
Yeah, I think that would be great. Yeah, I think I have a.
We even have some fresh flower food.
Yeah, Sarah and I are not aliens. No, we're human beings. We have a very simple past, a very fairy tale existence. Now that we don't have kids, and we both chose not to have kids, so we have an incredibly great time together. Thoughts on frozen food is double bag it. And make sure you have a generator to back up your frozen food collection for at least 2 weeks. You may have to run the generator for 2-3 hours a day to keep your refrigerator cold enough. I know. Yeah, canned food tastes terrible, but canned food is good too. It lasts a lot longer than the expiration date on your can. When you have a can that says it's good till like 2015, 2016, it's probably good for another 5 more years. I'm wearing pants right now. I'm wearing some really cool Dockers. I wish I could find more of them. They're so comfortable. Oh man. And they never need ironing. It's amazing. Freeze-dried is best, but it definitely takes time to rehydrate. And if you want to eat and go and carry food that's ready to go, probably your best choice are snack bars. If you were to build a bug-out bag for your car, you would probably put together a series of things that are necessary. I did for our cars. We have bug-out bags in our cars. I've got NBC technology, nuclear, biological, chemical protective gear, in case we get hit with any kind of a chemical attack. I went ahead and purchased that a few years ago. So we actually have replacement cartridges for massive, chemical attack. You can never be too prepared, that's right. Well, let's get back to the aliens. Yeah, I believe that if we did get an encounter there from the real aliens, and if the theory is true that Eisenhower brokered a deal, then I would say that we're on a limited time level until we are actually going to face off with the aliens. They're probably calling in their markers right now. If their plan is to take down the entire atmosphere by chemically inducing it with chemtrails and pushing all kinds of pollution back into the atmosphere instead of sequestering it, you look sexy too. You basically put yourself in being put in the end game of this entire scenario is human beings will die, leaving very little life on Earth. If that's their deal, to slowly kill us off and block all access to government for anybody who's trying to change the problem, they've done a pretty good job of locking everybody out. So if aliens are running our government, they're keeping real humans from solving problems, then we have a definite disconnect here. I know. You think so? 624 thinks I should pursue the receipt. Yeah, I might ask her for it. That would be that would be intense. That's funny. This is not old news. This is real relevant stuff. Okay, well, yeah, let's just contemplate the future of our nation if in the event we do have aliens attacking us or already attacking us. Let's look at the technologies we have in place to defend against sense. Okay, well, for one, if an alien force or even a random solar flare occurred that was too big, we would have no defense against an EMP, an electromagnetic pulse. We would be forced to somehow resolve the problem by hooking up generators everywhere in the country. So you'd see a lot of people with generators popping them up, turning them on, but we'd only last about 30 days because an EMP could take out the entire electric grid in a second. And electromagnetic pulses could occur any number of ways. There are enemies of our country that would love to deliver some sort of a strike on this country. There's a solar flare possibility. There's also the possibility that maybe, like you guys were saying, that we have a potential for aliens to use an EMP on the human race. Sure, if they exist. So something like this, as simple as it seems, is not such a bad idea. This is actually a simple design that I came up with in 2008 to solve a massive job infrastructure problem. Putting these things on is going to mean a lot of jobs for Americans. And these units can very well power up enough to pay for themselves within 1 year. You get a blue color there. Yeah. Yeah. That's a ticket. Yeah, so that's an idea that we have on our site and we talk about in our book. Putting these across the landscape would involve millions of solar, or rather vertical windmills. And this design is open source. It was developed by Savonius. And it's an open source technology that he freely created for all of us to use. The Creative Commons concept, where we can take an idea and export it and everyone can make benefit from it. We could all have these. I don't think it would devastate our internet connection. No. I don't even think the fluctuation from the windmill itself would alter any of the wires beneath it. But I'd have to prove it. Is it cold? I can't get that link, man. You keep sending me a link I can't get. The F-35. Why the F-35 is a sitting duck for the flankers. This is the thing that flew over my house today. Beautiful looking jet. I'll tell you that. All right. This is the antiquated aircraft that's costing our nation $400 billion over 10 years. You flew over my house. I was wondering who was looking at me. You caught me in the jacuzzi. I saw that. I flipped you off. Yeah, I hate it when those planes get so close to take pictures of me coming out of my spa. So I just went like, well, you know what a person does when they flip people off. I'm not going to flip off anything on camera. It's like, you almost saw me flip off something there. Anyway, OMA. Okay. Outgunned by the Su-30 family of aircraft and suffering critical design flaws, the American F-35 is staring down the barrel of obsolescence and punching a gaping hole in Western air defenses. Wow, Florida. Death toll is rising rapidly. Look at this, everybody. Several homes and businesses were flooded. The Pensacola News Journal reported residents were reported stranded in cars. Man, this is a massive flooding down there, Oma. Thank you for sharing that. You blew me a kiss? Okay, thank you. Kisses are better, especially with Valentine's coming. Night Clouded, mystery busted. I'm sorry, that has copyright violations. You are not allowed to play that on American soil. F-35 is a scam, 258, I agree. Drones will be the ticket, yeah. I'm going to my live chat watching the video, buddy. I just don't see the video. Love at First Sight has the Roswell alien photo slides. Wow. And we're supposed to believe this? Okay. It looks like my press-on veneers. Net neutrality. Obama's trying to profit from net neutrality. They're trying to figure out a way to monetize the internet so that private corporations can make even more money, the big ones, and the little guys get pushed out. So they're trying to figure out a way to create net neutrality under the guise of net neutrality. It's not net neutrality at all. In fact, it's going to limit the access to providers of internet, high-speed internet connections because they'll be basically competed out of their sector. Google will push them out. Google could lay the wiring. So aliens don't have teeth? I don't believe this is a real alien, but a team of UFO researchers announced at a live-streamed online press conference that it has obtained Kodachrome slides, images that provide smoking gun evidence that aliens are real, and that an alien UFO crash actually occurred in Roswell in 1947, despite government denial. According to Anthony Bragalia, who was involved in investigating and authenticating purported photographic evidence, the slides represent stunning visual evidence of a humanoid creature that was found crashed near Roswell. Really? You can't handle the truth. David, have you ever been visited by Mystery MIB? No, I've never had any direct conflict with the government or any secret societies. They know that this is highly unlikely that this alien being is real. Okay, let's take a look here. Yeah, I want to see the slideshow. I don't see the slideshow.
I think it's physical evidence. I think we have physical evidence. A picture says 1,000 words. Is that the same? The picture is worth 1,000 words.
Well, I just scanned through the picture of his video, and I found that there's absolutely no pictures of aliens in the video. You see how I scanned through it? I can see that, yeah, a picture does tell 1,000 words, and basically is you have no proof at all, other than 3D imagery. That's all it was. Any other questions? Echo Charlie. Echo Charlie, we've got echo. Sorry, I'll turn that off. Yeah, I would definitely not like, I wouldn't like, have you ever touched a snail and gotten that snail stuff on your fingers? And you notice how it doesn't rub off? Hi there. Sure you have, exactly. Can you imagine an alien substance worse than that? Once it's on you, it'll never come off, kind of like super glue. Snail jizz, good wording. Have you considered writing poetry? You're good. Okay, I will go to your live chat today. Okay, thank you. We've got somebody who's developing a side chat with us over at our America's Third Party site. And we don't normally use this unless it's a backup because of an attack on the internet. But let's go over there and see what this person is saying. I said rub off. Okay, you've got a link? Okay, thank you. Gotcha. Wow, you got a lot of I think something is going on, yeah. You have a lot of reference to God and Jesus in here. Okay, I'll take a look at that. Yeah, very interesting. We've got people pursuing us on different levels now, you know, different chat rooms. BBC News caught staging chemical attack, fake, yeah. Bring that in using our technology.
Stunning fakery in the alleged chemical weapons attack, according to a former UK ambassador. Coming up.
The British Broadcasting Corporation is accused of staging chemical weapons attack. The CIA admits planting CNN reporters.
Okay, this looks like a really good story, and it really questions a lot of the stuff that we've been hearing about, all the attacks in Syria and everything. It makes you wonder, you know. I game on Twitch, yeah, over at Cool Rock Party. But we don't get a lot of viewers over there. If you want to join our gaming, just connect to us at Cool Rock Party on Twitter. Become a Twitter follower at Cool Rock Party. And then you can watch me game. It's kind of cool. We put our gaming show out there just for the fun of it, because I'm warming up the equipment, and I basically, you know, start talking an hour before our show. All right. I don't like Instagib. I could try Instagib. I haven't gotten too into it yet. PC or console, we use a variety of different venues. I do a radio show on a tablet. We're starting our tablet radio show. I'm also using digital audio recording devices that record digitally at high definition, which will be really clear. You'll hear my voice much better than you even hear it now. And I believe that the possibilities are enormous for us to continue moving forward in all different directions. The media is a wide open field, and I don't mind exploring it. At a time when it's really necessary to have good quality political discussions, we would love to keep, you know, expanding the show. I'd like to talk about more issues on our radio show. I feel like this is a venue that kind of gets too tangential, and it would be a lot better to hone in on the issues. But yeah, there's a lot of things that are being faked by our government, and I don't know why, what their primary goal is, other than to make us all want a war, it seems. And I don't see the end game for war for America. I believe that we'll have a much longer longevity if we cease starting or seeding wars around the world. We're only creating fires that could very well flash back in our face and initiate the final 2 minutes of the nuclear clock time clock.
This was just from my eyes.
Wow.
A new makeup remover.
Good. I'm glad you got it. That's good. I was a little concerned about buildup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this stuff is so nice that you can just use it right under your eyes. It's
yeah.
awesome.
Good. You do ham radio? Have you tried pork radio? Without the
beef.
Beef radio sounds good too. Yeah. Maybe seafood radio.
Oh, you know the biggest thing though, to replace the bacon?
Oh yeah.
Turkey radio.
Turkey radio. Yeah, you do turkey radio, you're definitely talking turkey. I'll tell you. Breaker 19er, what's your 1020? Big Mama loves her truckers and they love their load. Yeah. Hey there, buddy. We're riding down the I-50, going heading toward the crossover to I-80. Where are you at? Okay, we lost a really beautiful guy, Robin Williams, a few months back. I'm still kind of lamenting the tragic loss of such a great talent. I was very fortunate to have met Robin Williams, but he didn't really meet me. When I was 15 years old, he was in a play, just a playhouse where my sister was applying for an audition. And he walked by me and he did his shtick back then. And no one knew who he was at the time. He was just a 28-year-old guy bumping around Beverly Hills. But if anyone was connected to a secret society, it would be him, because of his connections to all the powerful money brokers in LA and Hollywood and that whole thing. So I was just wondering, is it possible he could have hung himself on the door or the closet? I know. Sad day for Radio Shack, I know. You CBers can always go to junkyards. You can find a lot of CBs out there now. You know, I looked to me like he was doing some drugs at the time when I saw him, because he was lit. I mean, the guy was incredibly talented. He was playing this Eastern European Jewish guy, and he played it to a T, man. I mean, he could nail those characters, and everyone kind of like, really? Is this guy for real? And that's when he took off. His career took off, and I just don't think he hung himself on the closet door, especially with standing on his tippy toes. He wouldn't be hanging at all. You can't get a belt high enough to do that on your tippy toes. Yeah, his father was very rich. He grew up in a wealthy home, that's right. Well, how does exposing the wrongdoing help your presidential agenda? You don't want a president to expose wrongdoing? Wow. So you want to accept a puppet president who stands there and just goes, well, make no mistake about it. We're going to get things better. You're all going to get a better life. And we'll have plenty of jobs and more opportunity. I can't take questions right now. I'm holding my shield of blackness. You're basically giving this guy a pass as our president without questioning him, because you don't want anyone questioning him, because they'd be a racist if they did. So this Barack Obama we've got has basically held all of that against the American people. Due process hasn't even been followed in various areas, like pursuing his birth certificate. But no, I am a person who will seek out wrongdoing, and I will make it my presidential agenda. Okay? Thank you. Wow. To imagine that people are this passive and accepting of their ill-planned fate. It makes me sick to think that we come from the same species. You just want to sit back and give Obama a third term? You must be out of your mind. You don't even listen to the people around you that are going, man, the economy's not too good, man. All these companies are closing their business, it sucks. A lot of you must realize that there's a better way, and that is to get accountability from these people that aren't giving you a penny. They're not giving you a dime, man. There's been no money given to the American people, only to big corporations, too big to fail companies. They got all the money. So you guys are sitting there with a handout. If you're getting anything, it's food stamps, and we'll keep that coming. In no way should we limit food stamps. In fact, I was looking at the prognosis for food stamps for everybody. Everybody could get $100 a month in food stamps for a total of $250 billion. All U.S. citizens. Isn't that amazing? And then we would not pay illegal aliens food stamps. All right, let's talk about something. The corporatocracy. Dave Obama's the greatest? What? Are you out of your mind? He hasn't done anything great at all. Could you name one great thing that Obama has done? And please don't mention Obamacare. Please. That really tells everybody in the room that you're obviously subfunctional, barely functioning. Well, make no mistake about it. He's not being honest. No. Yeah, he writes himself an executive order to be the third-term president, and you're okay with that. Yeah, in fact, we already have laws that make hiring an illegal alien a felony. Guess 852? And that's what I was saying, 138. Anybody who speaks poorly of Obama is immediately called or painted a racist. That's not a country that's asking any questions of their leadership at all. We might as well all be like sheep with little hooks in our nose going bah and marching off to our destiny in the slaughterhouse. There's no difference between that and what many of you are saying, that Obama is helping our country. Oh, golly. Well, how is he helping your country? Oh, golly, I don't know. He's helping with education. I know that. He's going to give everybody a college education. How can you give everybody a college education when the cost of an education is like $25,000 a year minimum? You do the numbers, our country couldn't afford that. We can't even afford 1 million people with an education. Oh, but he said he's going to do a lot of things. I mean, that's where they're at. They're still wondering what he's going to do when he becomes president. That's the mindset of the Democrats. It's right above the toilet bowl. Right after you go to do your business, then that's about all they're able to think about. Nothing on a intelligence level at all. Yeah. Anyway, the information just keeps growing on the internet, and the mainstream media hears Brian Williams say one thing out of order, and all of a sudden the wheels of communication stop and go, oh, our most trusted guy, Brian Williams, is no longer trustable. Yet everyone else in the media is completely trustable. Sure, I can't wink too much or people think it's an Illuminati symbol. But anyway, all right, Obama called the muskrat attack on the Jewish a random attack. Yeah, I know. He doesn't want to realize the desperate nature of this conflict between Muslims and Israelites. He doesn't want to weigh the weight of it. He doesn't want to feel the weight. He seems to be traveling off and making apologies for the Muslims, and then drawing comparisons between Muslims and the Inquisition of all things by Christians, or Catholics against Christians, I should say. No, we can't talk about that because there's nothing to talk about. He's clearly not the king of anything. He can't even get his mother to clean up his toilet with pubic hair still on it from 1975. There's a lot of things going on over there that I can't discuss. No, he's trying to force us basically into a war, an endless war, just like Bush. I agree. He's trying to pigeonhole us all. I agree, Trolzar. All right, yeah, I'm not shying anybody who calls me up without telling me he's recording the conversation. Sorry. Yes, and this is why we're trying to help build a better government, Night Saber. By talking about politics, we're trying to mold a better government that can respond better to world interests and foreign policy. What we have today is a person who just seems to be endlessly striving for more unrest, triggering Arab Spring-style revolts around the world. And now we don't even know what's going on in Yemen. We've pulled out completely. Wherever Obama touches, things fall apart. And it's not just Obama. It's the two-party system. They're complicit in this. It's a complete failure of our political system to generate intelligent thought, strategy, or tactics. We are now falling into an abyss of wondering, what do we do next after we just screwed that up? There's no reckoning. There's no accountability. There's no monitoring of the future or the past. We aren't even prepared to see what we're going to do if we ever do encounter a direct attack. America would immediately go into a panic mode and would probably end up launching nuclear weapons. But we don't want to trigger that. Obama's doing everything he can to trigger it. He's pissed off Putin. He's staged fake ISIS activities across the world that are triggering fear among the American people, and now we're heading in the wrong direction. We're headed toward war.
International lawyers call for journalists inciting violence to be expelled.
Media staged Syria chemical attack. I mean, that's pretty serious, don't you think? Instead, we should be developing renewable energy technologies that will solve the country's problems and bring us toward a better future, which will not be a war against other countries, but will be rather a war to help save the environment. Because our biggest contender is not other countries. It's what we're doing to the earth. All right. Thank you for that. All right, here we go. Harper's Mag. What about Harper's Mag? David, why do you talk about Obama's mother and Glenn's mother? David, you hit below the belt, son. Mother? Are you kidding me, man? Look it. If I'm looking at a living abortion, am I going to brag about their mother? Come on, seriously. Thanks for the show, 138. Appreciate it. Putin is smirking at the world as the new peace accord was being signed. His forces were going back. Right. Well, they're going to go along Ukraine. This is their former satellite nation of the Soviet Union. Why wouldn't they want to have active interest in that country? We're not going to face off with Ukraine. And if Obama does choose to send our military into the Ukraine, we're going into another at least 5 to 10 year conventional war with a superpower. Oh, we want another Vietnam? We never learned from the last one? Hello? Anybody out there? Anyone inside your brain? Please just, pop up and take notice of what's happening. They're repeating the same thing right out of their playbook every single year. I know. They call it free energy and afterpay for what? David, can you say to Sarah, Mr. What? No, I can't. Well, Nightsaber's government is what it is. You're not going to be able to get rid of it, and you're not going to be able to replace it. Name one government that has a model of anarchy, and cite the references, please. I'll read the appendix and get back to you. There is no government that's ever had an anarchy as its basis. Some people say, well, what about volunteerism? The best we can hope for is a benevolent leader in a democracy. For real. And it can't be a fake democracy like a mobocracy where a little majority runs the rest. It has to be a real democracy with 2/3 majority making decisions about the future of their country. Oh, this has been great. We looked about the Roswell photo slides. That was kind of fun. We got some photo slides here. Maybe that's the real stuff. The video's been removed by the user. Ooh. Isn't that funny how all the Roswell photographs are all gone? No, Somalia is more of a Maoocracy. Gangs run. Pirates run Somalia. Obama secretly parted with Bill Ayers last summer, yeah. Parties with him. Oh, yeah. Yep. Bill Ayers went to the White House the first month twice. It's in record. Barack Obama didn't even acknowledge he knew Bill Ayers when he was in the primary in 2007. It's just what happens. They lie through their teeth. That is the problem, everybody. Liars. And if we don't get out of this lying, cronyistic political system with all the big money buying up every single one of them, we, the people of America, are the only ones who are going to be able to break this stronghold that the mass media has over our future. And ironically, it's simple as just telling people about a third party and getting the word to spread. It's not exactly a pyramid scheme because I'm not trying to profit from this. But if you tell somebody else tells two people tell two people, that's the only way we're going to break the entire hold that they have over most of the mindset of the American people. We need to wake America up person by person. Well, I don't support any 51/49% mob rule. Democracy is not mob rule. Democracy in the true Jeffersonian sense is quite different. A 2/3 majority dictates the future of the remaining 1/3. But no less than that. And I choose that arbitrary number not because it's a standard among the supermajority positions on this issue. Simple majority is 51%. No, Barack Obama is not a constitutional lawyer. And he didn't prosecute Bush for genocide because he basically is part of the same cadre of people that get people elected. It's just a sad reality that he's basically a hand-picked puppet, whereas I'm a true cut out of the American populace. I'm like a generic cut right out of the American populace running for president. The only difference is I'm a person with an above average IQ, which makes me more of a viable candidate. But almost anybody would be better than Barack Obama at this point. I'm unhappy to say that Obama was exactly like Bush, and a lot of you voted for Obama thinking that he was going to be great, but it's all talk and no action. And he's been very good at that. And he's managed to slip around the big questions like, well, where are the shovel-ready jobs? And his response was, well, I guess they aren't so shovel-ready after all. And why was his wife and he disbarred his lawyers? Answer that. Good point. Thank you. Yeah, he doesn't even have any legitimate backing as an actual person who went to Harvard, a Harvard Medical Review. I'm going to pull this off for now and bring up one really quick thing I wanted to show you. Yeah, this is the picture that we've got of Barack Obama at Harvard. This is the group picture. And you can see that there's all kinds of problems with this picture. Right off the top, you're going to notice that his head is a lot larger than the others around him. You look at the size of his head and compare it to this guy's head, significantly smaller. But more importantly, the big thing is the shadowing. Look at, there's absolutely no light on this guy's face, yet this guy has a light beaming really hard from this perspective, right? And Barack Obama's got a light beaming about, I would say, maybe from this perspective. But there's no light on this guy's face at all. Isn't that weird? Yeah, obviously photoshopped. No question about it. Well, let's make no mistake about it. They had to come up with a quick picture of Barack Obama in that site. Yeah, clearly. And I've got something even more compelling that I'm going to show you just briefly. That typifies this problem. Oh, by the way, I was going to check out the functionality of the show on YouNow tonight, too. I wanted to do that before I closed. Maybe I'll postpone this just to do that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have that file right now, unless it's back in Dropbox. Let me take a look. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, this article appeared in Gentleman's Quarterly the year after Barack Obama allegedly was president of the Harvard Law Review. Now, this is a tribute to Magic Johnson, but there's a big article at the top of this. It's called Uncivil War at Harvard Law. And I'm working on a piece where I will go into detail showing you. This article was written by John Sedgwick. There is not one mention of Barack Obama at Harvard Law in that magazine. Yet it was done a year after Barack Obama allegedly was the president of the Harvard Law Review. And this particular article, Uncivil War at Harvard Law, stretches like 10 pages in this book. And it goes into detail about the minority problems that are encountered at the university. And it has a real solid, comprehensive coverage of it. Yet they would have not overlooked the most important fact, which was Barack Obama being the president of the Harvard Law Review. So it really makes you wonder, is that possible that they could cover everything up? And it turns out there is absolutely no evidence other than one video on YouTube showing the actual book, showing Barack Obama in the front page as the president of the Harvard Law Review. It could have easily been doctored, could have been videotaped by any number of people. The whole story is completely hard to understand. Anyway, I want to get back to the chat room here. Gold, silver, expected to be about the same. Yeah, I heard the stock market went up 100 or so points today. Pepsi's buying back 12 billion worth of shares. Okay. Ladies Monthly. Yeah, he omitted Obama. That's not a story. No, it's not, Brian. Not talking about the president and his role as the head of the Harvard Law Review, being the whole story was about minorities at Harvard, is an extremely significant fact. People would be like, oh, I went to Harvard with him. Yeah, they would, but there's nothing. I know. So a lot of people just don't get the huge lie that has been perpetrated on the American people, that this guy even went to Harvard. I don't even know if he did. They may have pictures of him talking at any number of universities, but whether they're Harvard or Columbia, we don't know. We don't even know anything about his real background. Go Trace says, what about the Freemasons? Well, Freemasons are people like you and I. I'm not a member of the Freemasons or the Masons. But the average Freemason person knows nothing about any plan or plot by the higher ups. The 32nd level or 33rd level Masons are the supreme leaders of those organizations. They're the ones that would be more aware of a plan put in play by their ancestors. But they would never tell their own people. Albert Pike wrote a detailed study he basically wrote the blueprint on morals and dogmas and how they were to behave. And the 32nd to 34th Masons were not to tell anyone about anything. They were supposed to lie to all the poor Masons below them. So, okay, Vermont State is having some layoffs finally, thank goodness. A big round of state worker layoffs seem possible with Vermont having to cut their budget massively. Yeah. A lot of the states have been hiding from the reality that the crisis is way out of control. And we've seen states like the one I live in where they literally won't even discuss the budget. Even though they've done literally $10 billion over budget every single year, the Democrats have been in our state of Washington. In 2008, our state was $16 billion in debt. Now they're $90 billion in debt. Top aides to Governor Peter Shumlin warned Thursday that Vermont's unionized state labor force could see more than 400 layoffs in the union if the union does not agree to reopen its contract and negotiate pay cuts. Right on. There's going to be a big head-off between unions and state governments real soon. And all the Democrats are going to be pulling all their markers back and saying, well, we just can't afford union support anymore. Even the Democrats are going to have to bail from a lot of the public unions. They're sucking us dry. States like California are literally massive sucks of the budget in California. I don't know anything about Masons. I've never been approached, and I will never join a secret society. Night Sabers, Mr. Bush or Mr. Obama will never be held accountable for the genocide they've committed unless we can build a political platform that can hold them accountable. You're never going to get your Democrats, Republicans to vote in favor of a review of their actions. You'll never get the Democrats, Republicans to ask for a review of the 9/11 Commission report, or any report for that matter. You'll never get any accountability from these people. I think everyone should do a budget every year. I'm amazed the Democrats have slipped by now for going on 6 years now without a budget. I'm blown away. Well, it'll shut itself down. You don't have to shut it down, 852. I'm telling you, it'll shut itself down. The entire apparatus of government is so top-heavy at this point, and they refuse to cut it. Whoops, network reports Obama's from Kenya. Okay. Whoops.
We now have Lola Adesoye and NBC's Chris Jansen, who's at the White House. And Chris, I'll start with you. A complicated week to try to have a summit like this, but the White House is clearly, I would assume, hoping that this will be part of the president's legacy given his background.
Yeah, the fact that he's from Kenya and the fact that when he was elected, there were expectations on the African continent that he would do great things for them. This is a concerted effort by this administration to get American companies to invest. And so the timing really of the Ebola crisis, which comes on the heels of all of those terrorism headlines.
Oh, that is the mother of all feeds. Thank you. That's amazing. Jump to say hello. Hi, John Jay. Thanks for coming in, man. The party system is just to sell you your preferred flavor of crap sandwich. Do you prefer it to be red or blue? Either way, you're still eating crap. Well put, Trolzar. There are more admirals than ships in the U.S. Navy. Wow. That's an interesting factoid, F852. Boy, there's a lot of information in our brains, isn't it? It bubbles to the surface in a chat like this. It's great. I like that. That's the best thing about having a chat, an open forum to talk politics in real time. It is called a caste system, and they're constantly regenerating at 702. You know, the college system today is a caste system. It's no different. I was a victim of affirmative action, and I wasn't really given any funding to go to college by any government or private enterprise. I was overlooked because of all these quotas against white people. Its guests are good, yeah. Yeah. Well, my mother should have paid me to go to college, actually. She should have. The state said based on her income level, she should have paid me to go to college. But I wasn't about to take out college loans to go to college, and I really felt victimized by the fact that 5 major Ivy League schools turned me down, even though I was number 1 in my class out of 770 students, and I was also in the top 98 percentile in SATs. I felt that I was really singled out for that, being white. And I think it's true. And we haven't really heard any justification from affirmative action supporters claiming that it's in some way helping integration, when in fact we're judged on the color of our skin, not the content of our character. It seems completely opposite to the words of Martin Luther King Jr. Now, I only got a $100 honorarium scholarship from UCLA to be an honor student. That was it. I was in top 98 percentile the year. The year that I graduated, I believe that there was only one 1600 on the SAT. Now there's like 40 or 50 because they watered down the standards. So when I tell you my score on the SAT, I'm not going to be telling you anything relevant to today. They've watered down the SAT so that now we have about 40 people that get 1600s on the SAT now, nationally. I don't have a degree, no. I chose not to pursue a college education for obvious reasons. Number one, I couldn't afford it. Number two, I was being indoctrinated by communist Marxists who have now ironically taken over the White House. So my goal is to actually work in the field of the grassroots political environment to generate awareness for these academic imbeciles that are taking us down the road to ruin. Their leftist policies has weakened our nation and opened our border to illegal aliens that are draining our services like healthcare and education. And then we're seeing a relative disregard for the environment and ironically an embrace of corporations and industrial waste. So I think they're completely misled. I believe we've got on the right, we've got the fascist regime dominating our American politics, and on the left, we've got a communist regime dominating American politics. And I'm a unique brand of centrist, right in the middle of the political spectrum, so I'm not exactly like those two parties at all. I'm more willing to talk and share on the issues, issue by issue, than these people are. Not really. Rightism is fascism. But you could claim leftism as fascism. It really doesn't matter. When you get to the polls, both sides, you're going to see jihadists side with communists. You're going to see national socialists side with hardcore corporate fascists. So when Hitler rose to power, He took the funding and money he got from the big bankers like Vanderbilt's, the funders of his campaign, J.P. Morgan and others, and whoever the big funders were, we never really knew. But we saw companies like Union Bank of New York in America finance all of the operations through a money laundering scheme. And all of that was exposed in America. And the person who ran that entire agency, Union Bank of New York, was none other than Prescott Bush, the grandfather of the Bushes, the great-grandfather of Jeb Bush. So now you're beginning to see the whole picture. The Nazis, American corporatism, National Socialism. I will not run as a preferred Democrat ever again, 702. Thank you for caring. I appreciate it. You know, we could talk about all the different roots of this secret society network, but we'd be wasting our time tonight because that's really on Mondays, Tuesdays. We talk about things like that, mostly Mondays. But yeah, we could pin the tail on the donkey there and find all the different places that our country's corrupt. But what's the point? We have a better plan, and that is to make a more sustainable lifestyle for Americans, where more people can own their own house. That's built into our homestead renewal plan. And more people can have a cleaner environment, cleaning up our waterways, focusing on ecological solutions as opposed to fighting machines and war machines like Obama and the Republicans want to do. Report from Iron Mountain. Okay, I'll check it out. Yeah, Freemasons have a strong presence in American history. No question about it that you can trace the roots of Washington, D.C. to the Masons. Absolutely. You can trace the structure of our existing government to the Masons. I'm not a Mason. I have no directive buried beneath the surface. It's what you see is what you get. I'm not part of a secret society or anything. I'm just an average American with a strong vision for the future. That's all I can do to keep striving for what I think could be a better future for America. It's a book published in 1967. Okay. During the Johnson administration. Okay. Interesting. I'll read about it. Thank you. The controversy is still swirling over whether the book was a satiric hoax about think tank logic or a product of a secret government panel. It's a favorite among conspiracy theorists. Okay, thank you. Yeah, there's a lot of zealots on the far left. You know, I'm more than willing to respond to a lot of people like, Noam Chomsky and all these people that have intellectual reasons for disliking or distrusting our government. But I realize, too, that if we don't embrace some parts of the government and make those work, we're never going to get rid of the bad parts. It's just like a human being. I mean, you got to go with your core, what works, and try to lob off the tumors because they're taking you down. We've got a tumorous economy that needs to have some trimming done, and we need a strong leader to trim those areas of government spending, and we don't get that with the two parties. They don't generate people like me in the two parties. They alienate people like me. Okay, you go and look it up. I'm going to say goodnight. I'm glad I gave you a little extra time tonight. It's been fun. Thank you. Thanks for coming into Technology Thursday. Sarah and I are going to watch a little bit more of that Californication show. That's pretty funny. Thank you. No problem. This has been educational. Yes, it has. And we'll try to make it better for you tomorrow with Freedom Friday. I know, we are kind of pawns, and we're all trying to gather together. The pawns don't really know how to talk to each other, though. That's the hard part about starting a political movement, is pawns tend to be just alienated out there in collective separatist land. We all have our iPods, and we all like to blog, but it's hard to form a union of like-minded people in a real way anymore. In the 30s, people gathered together because they wanted to protect their job rights and make sure the job employees got treated, and that's how the formation of unions happened. But it didn't springboard into a new political movement. It was absorbed by the progressive movement that FDR had. The socialist movement at the time was a completely separate thing, and they didn't want to be absorbed by FDR, but he still appealed to socialists in his dialogue. And those people ended up joining into the Democratic Party. But the Democratic Party's kind of left everybody hanging this year. I mean, we don't even know if we're at war, and why are we at war? How come he has to stop the torture and rendition around the world? How come the Democrats keep siding with the military-industrial complex to fly these big behemoth monsters over our heads when we should be tooling up for high-tech UAV production? All these things are blowing right back by the Democrats and their discussion, or lack of discussion. They don't talk about GMOs. They don't talk about radiation in the water. They don't talk about the oil spill. That's just a bad thing we want to talk about. Basically, the Democrats are slowly becoming a party that is completely irrelevant. And the Republicans are already irrelevant. They've been irrelevant for about 4, 5, 6 years now. But they've got some good points, and those Tea Party people really have very good points on the fiscal nature of our economy. And I would recommend a lot of Tea Party people look at what we're trying to do, which is to shrink government but make it run more effective and run like a business. Okay, we're going to play videos of some nature, 923. Let's see. We'll do the Google is evil, and then we'll break into Facebook, and then we'll go into more technology stuff like the internet, cybercrime, and things like that. Okay? Thank you very much. You'll learn about DDoSing tonight. It's a terrible thing that's happening around the world. It's shutting down a lot of corporate companies and unnecessarily. We need to get some solutions to all that. Hey, thanks for coming in, everybody. Thanks for coming in, Oma. All of you. Giraffe Brain, Ron Branch, Swiver the Cat. Cool. Okay, have a good show, Scissor Fight. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out in my back room here, in my studio, my home studio. All right, thank you. I'm not African American. I know I look a little African American, but I'm not. Thank you for asking, though. All right, great. Take it easy. Adios, amigos.
Meet Google, the noun that became a verb, the world's favourite search engine, the company whose motto is "Don't be evil." Google processes 1 billion web searches every day using 450,000 servers. But it's more than just a search engine. Intel CEO Andy Grove calls Google, which has a market value of $200 billion US, a company on steroids with a finger in every industry. Google has acquired 30 other companies in the last 9 years and patented 187 products. Last year, it launched a venture capital arm to invest in software, clean tech, biotech, healthcare, and, no doubt, other areas we haven't thought of yet. Here's a few of the things Google wants to own: your phone, your email, your computer, and your entire digital life. Whatever you want to do online, Google wants to be your one-stop shop. It also wants to own the cables that deliver the internet itself and the electricity to power them. Google also wants to provide your entertainment and your news. It wants to build the largest library ever. This project is currently the subject of a class action lawsuit brought by publishers and authors. And it wants to know where everything is, from your front lawn all the way to Mars. Google wants to track you, storing records of everything you look at online for 18 months. It also wants access to your health records and your DNA, with 2 of its early investments in genetic testing companies. Google wants to follow your friendships. Social media platform Google Buzz was engulfed in complaints last month over alleged privacy breaches. It is now the subject of another class action lawsuit. And it's not the first time that privacy has been an issue. Google Maps and Google Earth have been criticised for including photos of naked kids, people vomiting, and leaving sex shops. 2 months ago, Google CEO Eric Schmidt said of privacy concerns, "If you have something you don't want anyone to know, maybe you shouldn't be doing it in the first place." Why does Google want to know so much about you? As Schmidt says, "We are in the advertising business.